Okay, that should work now. Hello everyone, welcome to USFC 180. We're getting to 200, we still got a ways to go. 20 USFCs is actually still a very long time, but it is still remarkable that we've made it to this stage. We got Pico against Oak to start us off. Wanted to start us off with a bang, and I knew Pico likely needed an early fight, so let's get these two in. Internet connection should be very solid. I checked that earlier, just recently in fact, so should not have any issues with that. Certainly not on my end. Let's get these both. Beautiful. And just to double check, yeah, Pico will be on the left and Oak will be on the right. I'll double check the game capture is working too. Not Parsec, OBS often resets my settings for some reason. That's also why I sometimes gotta get an audio hiccup right when I start. For some reason, it defaults to a different thing, regardless of how many times I change it. But the game capture is working, which is good. Let's disable that. Kubel never ceases to slightly annoy me with that. I'm constantly having to disable that. Okay, Pico on the left, Oak on the right to start us off. Also, Bobo usually commentates with me. If you are available, Bobo, just give me a ping and I'll let you write in. Oh yes, I'm not even in the commentator's booth right now. I'll fix that as well. When these fighters kill each other, it won't take long. Don't want to interrupt the rhythm. Cool, they doubled. That's okay. One moment, guys. Sorry about that. Brilliant. Go ahead. Oh yeah, Grazmez, I don't know if you saw, I gave your comment a thumbs up. I know you're looking for a fight. I know Koala also wants one, so you should be guaranteed a fight. Nice. Pico plays a really good Marie. His Marie is a little bit slept on because he's known for playing other characters as well, but right now he's showing us a master class on how to play Marie. Oak is not necessarily doing anything wrong with Yazik. He's just being punished on the windup a lot. No game volume. I'll fix that after the round. They're already in a rhythm, so. It's probably OBS once more resetting my settings for no reason, but I'll fix it. Yeah, so 3C, you'll be fighting Razmez, because Razmez needs somebody to fight. That's fine. Yeah, I did, to be fair, I did the fight card pretty early. It was like 6 o'clock a.m. my time, so I know you're North American as well, so that would be probably really early for you as well, regardless of where you are. Yeah. Very close fight now. Pico landing some hits. Oak is desperately trying to make that sidestep work, but struggling to actually close the distance. The thing is, attacking the blade is not terribly useful if you're not threatening an actual hit on Marie. 2 to 3 hours later, I see. Wow, Pico dashes in and follows up that thrust perfectly with a triangle. That is the magic that he is known for. Let me just make sure the browser audio is actually working. Or not the browser audio, my headphones audio is actually working properly. Oak disconnected. What? Why? Yeah, I'm aware of what the problem probably is, Pico. I'm just looking for the thing. Good on your end, Pico? Oh, so the audio should be coming through now. Slightly stutter. Why would it stutter though? I don't understand. Internet's perfect today. Ah, it's bullshit. Yeah, it's not your guys' fault. I just don't know what more I can do. Like, it's literally as good as it can get. Better than most people's, and it's still... So it's not my end. What? Oak is not. Or is it Pico not? Yeah, Pico's not taking the side. Yeah, so it's not my end, whatever it is. But anyway, it might be Parsec. The only thing I can think of, in which case, if it's Parsec, then there's probably nothing that can be done. Nice. Poke by Oak there. I can again, like resetting the router doesn't take that long, it's just I would have to restart the stream again, which is kind of a pain. I would rather not do that. If it gets unplayable or annoying, guys, though, I can totally do that. Just restart the stream real quick and continue on. It'll only take like 2 minutes, but... Again, would rather avoid such a nuclear option if we can. It's just, it kind of pisses me off because my internet's good. We're still getting issues somehow. Nice though by Oak. Let's try and focus a little bit on the fight. Pico having switched from Marie, which may not have been advisable in hindsight, actually, which is interesting. I would have thought Marie would not be terribly good against Yazek, but apparently the correct way. That's not necessarily the case, but Pico is starting to make a comeback. Down to the wire, both looking for that kill shot. Punch, nice try by Oak, but not able to follow it. Pico dashed away. I like it when fights get messy like that, but oh, there we go. But there's still an expression of skill from both of them. They're both still playing really effectively, but Oak is able to close in, get that flag. That was good, pursuing the angle that he was getting, and just relentlessly attacking when Pico was on the back foot. I assume it's still good though, like nobody's pausing or anything, so yeah. It's stuttering but playable. Oh, okay.
Hey!
I mean, and the bizarre thing too is when I play on European hosts, I don't get stutters at all. So I'm really confused. It's not even like I was playing on Parsec too. So I guess Parsec is just having a terrible day today. In which case, changing hosts will probably not do much. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. I mean, just yesterday I was playing on Senator's host. It was buttery smooth. Honestly, the delay was there, but it wasn't bad. There was basically no stuttering. Maybe there was some periods that happened that like usual, but it wasn't anything of note. So it's not a distance thing, that's for sure, because they're both good. I dare say Pico needs to go back to Marie. His other characters are great, but it seems like for some reason Marie was going way better. But he's mounted a comeback even with Tarna, so he might be able to adjust to Gendrick. This is the cool thing about watching Pico fight, is he plays every character essentially, and you never know who he's gonna pick, and it can throw people off big time. There's definitely a method to the madness, even if it might seem ill-advisable at first. Good cancel by Pico. I think continuing the attack would have been a mistake. Nice hook there, but unfortunately that did not pay off with a kill. Eventually still gets the double. I'm sure Pico's happy with that. I mean, considering it could have ended a lot worse than that. There you go. He still got a kill for his trouble in the end after getting such a lovely hook on the blade. So that's good for Pico. Good for his morale. Stab by Oak connects, but that's not quite a kill. And a double. A double. And yeah, Pico a little bit too close for that attack, but a good try. Ooh, and he chops the hand off mid-swing this time. That was nice. It's actually quite equal now. Very impressive by Pico, but Oak with that upcut is able to stop Pico in his tracks there. I love stuff like that in this game, where the bonus actually prevents an attack from going through. That's really one of the things that this game has, but a lot of games don't have. The physics of the actual interaction can change the outcome. That's why it's so good. Half Sword has it too. Obviously, it's a bit more absurd sometimes with the ragdolls, but it has that similar type of mechanic where you can stop somebody physically with your weapon from even moving against you if you set up the defense just right. Back to Marie for Pico, which I think is advisable. Even he knows that this may well be the path to victory. But I have to say, he still put up a fight with the other characters. It's not like he's completely demolished, but Marie just went a little bit better. And against somebody like Oak, a small advantage like that is what sometimes might take. But Oak is also more than capable of adjusting, so it might not be as simple as picking Marie and winning. Yeah, Oak is really determined to get in there. He's looking for those opportunities. That triangle providing a bit of a false one for Oak. But Oak realizes that in time. Pico switching guards a lot, harassing the long guard. And you can see long guard is actually working very well. And it's all about positioning, like what I tell their players. The lunges do not just bypass long guard randomly. There's a reason why they do when they end up doing so. If you're intelligently defending yourself, though, you will block them. And actually, Oka is doing better. Like, it's sort of a reversal of what we saw earlier. He's figured something out against Marie. Stab to the face there after blocking with long guard. It might have looked a little goofy, but it was a legitimate block. Riposte. Pico scoring a flag. Reminder, of course, that Pico is about to lose this fight if he loses this one. And there we go. It just happened.
Oh, yeah.
It? But it is what it is. Pico did great with Marie, though. I don't think that can be taken away from him, even after this round. It's just that Oak was able to adjust in the end. But GG's to both of you. Now we have Plebeian against Bobo. So Bobo technically should challenge me. But he has chosen not to maintain his streak. And so he has quite a win streak at the moment. It's the same win streak as me. I have to put him against somebody strong. That's what he wished for, some kind of a challenge. Therefore, it's Bobo against Plebeian. Plebeian being his master. So we'll see a Zaramir, I suspect. Hopefully Bobo is around. I haven't heard anything from him yet. He is nice. I see him in the commentator waitlist at least. He's not in the cabin just yet. If he wants to be in the cabin though. You weren't aware a USFC was happening. Oh. Maybe it got overshadowed a bit by the announcements, but I did announce it. Cool, cool. I already see you in Parsec, so that's good. If you want to join the commentator booth, I can invite you as well.
Thank you. I will be... Kick me out. I'll be here after I get my ass whooped by Plebeian. He's gonna put me in my place.
Sure.
I reckon. Oh boy. But hey, Zeradul, you know, maybe I can take it off him. I dueled him the other day, and he beat my ass. You know, 7-1 flags. Oh, the parsec isn't working.
Uh-oh. Yeah, try again, maybe?
I will. It's just waiting to connect. But, I mean, yeah, I'm happy that there's a USFC happening. I just forgot it was happening.
I see.
I see.
Well, you're on the left.
All right,
Bobo.
I mean, we're in. Yes.
Oh,
wonderful. That'll give me a big
right?
advantage. Yeah, keyboard. That'll give me a big help. Maybe Pleb didn't show up. I can win if he doesn't show up. Maybe.
He's here.
Uh-oh. I don't think I can win this one. Anyway, I like the Olympics commentation you did earlier, even if I didn't enjoy the tournament itself. It's you were good in it. I saw the duel you did very well.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, there were some really tough ones that I was fighting.
Yeah, versus... There was Castor?
Yeah, and then Oak as well almost beat me. Both of them did really well. Finally, I did well in those Connor mirrors. I have to say, out of all the mirrors in the game, that's the mirror I hate the most. Because it becomes
you could kick me out
match. Yeah.
Yeah. Fighting Connor, I'll be honest. Playing him is okay, but fighting him is no fun.
Yeah, and if you're also Connor, you find that a lot of your moves don't do well against his guard. So you're bashing each other's shield for the entire match unless you push.
Holy shit, I'm winning. Kick me out the cool, I need to focus.
Okay. I'll kick you out right after this flag.
Oh boy. Yeah. Thank you, thank you.
There we are. Bobo should be able to move. Nice. Back Y. It's 2-2 so far. Bobo doing well. Sounds like playable for both of you. Obviously, let me know if that changes. Bobo has a more defensive mindset, but it is working pretty well. I like to see patience on his part. He's done very well historically in the USFC, and I have to say he's also beaten Castar in the USFC. That is a pretty nice achievement on his part. I put him up against a fairly tough player who can challenge the best. His own master might be even more of a challenge, though, just because they know each other so well. What's going on? Oh, Bobo's actually fine. Plebeian's losing inputs and backing up for no reason. That's, I don't know. Bobo's fine, so... I can check one thing, maybe like Pico is still in the... No, he isn't. Okay. I wasn't thinking Pico was doing that on purpose, by the way. I was just wondering if he was in the parsec unknowingly and like pressing stuff, but no. I don't know, I'm not pressing anything. I don't even have my controller, so I'm not touching the keyboard, so I don't know. But Plebeian is still winning by 2 flags. No hard feelings against my buddy Plebeian, but I obviously have to root for Justice. I'm sure Plebeian would also be happy to see him succeed. But it's not looking so good. Yeah, there we go. Plebeian landing that in perfect measure. A nice way to try and get past Zera's guard, but very telegraphed. We were discussing the value of telegraphs, by the way, over in the chat. And the value of switching tempos. And in this game, it's actually very helpful. If you throw telegraph moves that are easy to counter without thinking, of course you can just be punished right away, but that's not how you should use slow moves. Plebeian going with Tarnowski. That was a good pick, by the way. He picked that really quickly, which tells me the inputs are good. There's still a bug where Jakub is selected instead of Tarnowski. Nice. Swings upward there. Bobo stopping Plebeian's attack. Plebeian having a little bit of fun with his student. I think he actually does like Tarnowski. I don't know if he's a Tarna main as such, but he definitely has expressed in the past that he really likes his style. And he is a Meyer fencer as well, so they do have some similarities in that regard. I know it says 12% listen hour for Zera, but I'm convinced a lot of the rest of it is Meyer, because Zera does a lot of these really wild swings. These sort of windmilly cuts are more characteristic of Meyer. Lichtenauer is definitely there too, as there is also overlap between the two systems. Lichtenauer is a lot more minimalist than Zera. And obviously the drunkenness is a big part of the rest of his style as well. Ian's doing way better with Tarna, showing us how effective Tarna can be. It actually proved to be a better pick than Zera was. Bobo on the back foot here, about to lose if he does not change something. And obviously I know there's a big experience gap between these two. I normally don't do that as far as the matchup, but Bobo has such a win streak that unfortunately the difficulty has to be ramped up one way or another, whether it's fighting me or it's fighting one of the more veteran players. So obviously if he's knocked down a peg, I shouldn't say when, we don't know what's gonna happen. But if he is knocked down a peg, then obviously the difficulty will be reduced again, so he's fighting people more of his level. Usually that's how we do it. So it's not just about experience level, but how well you're actually performing. But still, Bobo getting a 4 win streak, you cannot take that away from him. As far as the rising stars in this game, he's doing really well. And theoretically, he should be challenging the champion, actually a USFC ago. So. Nice hit by Bobo. Bobo was able to make this a little bit messy against Marta. Big blade lead. Nice back wide. The Marta pick not going so well for Plebeian. I think Plebeian's trying to bring some respect to Marta's name here, but I'm not sure if he's playing this matchup the way he should be playing it, as somebody who dabbles in Marta a little bit myself. Stabs by Plebeian, but no kill just yet. This matchup can really go either way, but so far Bobo with his crushing power has been able to make this matchup look a little more one-sided, but Plebeian was able to get him tired and then hit the head. Ooh, Plebeian had a chance perhaps to stab, but didn't take it. Parry reversal. Nice jab there to the arm. And then a back wide to the head. Bobo scoring his first win, but still has a bit of a hill to climb. Big slash, then a cut to the head by Plebeian here, who decided to use Lasbo. Up cut by Bobo. Nice. Laszlo, another one of those characters given a lot of disrespect, perhaps more understandably in this case, although I do think Laszlo is viable. He's not nearly as bad as some of the weaker characters, but he definitely was nerfed since his debut. Nice cross-cutting there. Big cut there. By Plebeian, nice punish. Bobo needs to be careful not to whiff on Laszlo. Laszlo's essential fighting style is all about distance management, so he'll move back, move in and out, and as you whiff, he will use those opportunities to try and close in. So if you can master distance managing with this guy, he can still mess people up. A pause there. Plebeian doing really well, but Bobo is starting to close the gap. Bobo has to be careful whiffing that. I see what he's going for. He's going for that block stun to bash that blade aside, but Plebeian knows all about it, so he's ready to stop that. Nice sidestep there. Zera does not like being sidestepped. Upcut. Back wide. Bobo trying to keep distance. Whiffing that, yeah. Unfortunately, that was a devastating mistake, but nice try. I get what Bobo is going for, but the whiff recovery on that move apparently is not very good. Thrust does not have very much tracking, so Plebeian can really just sidestep it. He doesn't have to dash or anything to dodge it. Particularly from that distance. Nice upcut by Plebeian, but does not land it. He did shield himself from that attack, though. Bobo for thrust attempt. Bobo's gotta be careful. Bashes the blade, but doesn't actually land it. Plebeian, I think that's blade away for Laszlo. I'm not sure. He's opening himself up. Bobo lifting a lot. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, welcome to the chat, Fraudulent. As Sion said, the link to our Discord is in the description if you do want to participate. Plebeian won, which isn't super surprising given the experience level, but I do hope Bobo had some fun there. And congrats on the win streak either way. That, you know, having forced me to give him a tough opponent, Bobo did extremely well. And I expect he will be a contender in the future if he keeps that up. Grid square against Next now. Yeah, Laszlo is really fast. That's one thing that Zera struggles. Can learn a lot from losing. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes that's where you learn the most.
Hello, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed seeing me getting beaten ripe. And as Plebeian takes my lunch money there, he did give me a little pity victory when he picked Marta, who Zera has a very good matchup against, in my opinion. But yeah, his knowledge and experience with the game simply dwarfs mine. Because typically against more inexperienced players, you see, I was going for big whiffs. When I'm against more inexperienced players, I reach into a bag of trips of unusual and unexpected attacks that I don't see coming. Plebeian, of course, he's been around the block, he's seen it all, so he could read me like a book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good player, though. Well played to him. I did have fun. Always a joy to play him whenever I do get to play him. He's in a faraway time zone from me and has a job. I know, disgusting. But when I do get to play him, I'm very thankful. Yeah. He's. I sincerely doubt I'll ever beat a Zera, though. If it was just 0-0, it would be 3-0. He was like. I like to think by switching to different characters, he was either trying to teach me or knock the difficulty down a notch each time.
Yeah, or just have some fun, one of those things. But it was funny, his
Mm.
Tarna went so well too. I was like, wow, he's
I got
demolishing
tilted,
you with
is the
Tarna.
thing. I got tilted. I died to a lag spike and got tilted for the
Oh
rest of
yeah,
the round early on.
yeah,
Which will get you. That's why I say take me off the bike, because I get tilted from time to time. But there you go, there you go. Cool under pressure as always. Well played to Plebeian. And now we have Nex versus Grid Square. Two
yeah,
contenders in their own right, but very talented.
yeah. Grid square on the left. If anybody needs keyboard, let me know.
It's alright if I just stay. I'm requesting to join the Parsec thing simply so I can watch the match.
Yeah, yeah, that's fine. Grid square.
He typically plays Kalkstein, does he not? Grid Square. He's one of the few Kalkstein
Yes.
players in the server.
Yeah.
Very tricky character, by all accounts. In my opinion, the hardest to master in the game, especially for the meager returns you get.
I'm a bit of a closet Kalkstein myself. I don't pull him out very often, but whenever we do those Olympics, especially, I start using him. I have taken the time to learn his moveset. He's very technical, but once you get it, he's very good at denying space from the opponent with just a flurry of attacks that are hard to track.
Indeed he is. And without even being attacked here, he's having one of his characteristic asthma attacks, and it appears to be all over for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being in the medieval times, he doesn't have his inhaler, so he can deal with his asthma, meaning he has very low stamina.
Yeah. You never know, he might have some TB or some other illness that's gone untreated as well.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
Or he could be a smoker. They did smoke in these times. Tobacco was readily available for centuries in the past. So, you know. I imagine some people did get lung cancer back in the day from
Yeah,
smoking
they
a
had
pipe.
access to tobacco by now, so they didn't know about that stuff. And also people were breathing in stuff sometimes, like from their fireplaces, so depending on how ventilated your chimney was, you might also get like carbon monoxide poisoning or things like this, or just inhaling smoke in general over time.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, as I was at the Jorvik Viking Museum in York in the north of England. A beautiful place, I highly recommend it. In the 1990s they did what do you call it? A fossil dig? Well, archaeology. They did some archaeology there, and they found unearthed an entire Viking village and the artifacts from it buried in the ground. And it was fascinating to see. And one of the things they had was an iron pan that was repaired with small lead chunks. Yeah. And as you can imagine, a lot of people died as a result of the pan that was partly made of lead.
Yeah. You don't want to ingest it, especially lead. Like, if it touches your skin, it's not going to poison you, and as long as you wash your hands, that's all good. If it gets in your body somehow, though, that's where the problems start.
Absolutely. But that's not stopping Kalkstein. He might have been a lead baby, like a baby boomer perhaps. They ingested a lot of lead due to the unleaded diesel of their time.
Yeah.
But, yeah. He's not letting it stop him as he gets his first flag.
Oh yeah, there's the cryptic Kubold message there. It'll go away.
Yeah. We're not playing with dynamic muscles, so he's saying, "Oh, you naughty." He's telling us off.
Yeah.
If there's, he wants spaghetti and meatballs, and he wants the spaghetti to be the fencer's muscles. Yeah. But Nex themselves, I know we shouldn't pick favourites, but personally, if I was a betting man, I would say they were going to win before this. Have I fought Nex before? I don't believe I have, but they are a very good player, and picking Isabella is certainly one of the most solid choices on the roster.
Yeah, she's a lot tighter than Calc is. Calc has a lot of these wide swings, which cover more distance, but they can leave him open to a lot of Isabella's moves.
Indeed, and as we can already see, Calc's low pain tolerance, slowing him down before he inevitably gets decapitated.
Yep.
You know, Isabella has a surprising amount of health. I often get glancing cuts on her, and it's not enough to bring her down. She's a demon.
I think some of the time as well, what happens is the blade is hitting her blade, and sort of the damage gets reduced because of that. That is one thing that can reduce damage in this game if you're contacting the blade for any reason at all. So that's also part of it, I think.
You get that a lot on Zera. His forward one, T on the keyboard. You know, that move, if it hits you raw and you don't block it, it can cut mountains in half. But it'll often blade beat and get a glancing cut on the enemy, especially on shield characters. But well played to Nex as she takes the first round. Yeah. In all fairness, you were saying earlier about my USFC streak. I was definitely beating players that were... I mean, I beat Castor, who was a fairly even match. They gave you a run for your money. But I was beating up a lot of milkmen, to say the least, if you're familiar with that term, from boxing.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
Isabella
it's good to be put in your place time to time. There's never been a champion who didn't lose.
Yeah, and it's tough to maintain a streak in the USFC. Even veteran players lose pretty quickly most of the time. So getting a 4-win streak is pretty impressive, regardless, I think.
Well, I'll try and get to a 5 by the end of the year. We'll see. That'll be my challenge. I will only fight the new players, and I'll guarantee it'll work. Yes. Although someone, and it appears that after that defeat with Calc, Grid Square has responded with an Isabella of their own. His own, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, and a nasty blow to the head there.
Yeah. Yeah, matching Isabella with Isabella does make it a bit of a grind, but it also means you relinquish any disadvantages you previously held, so if you know how to play Isabella, it might well be a good choice.
Indeed. Indeed. She's going from 0 to Isabella, while I personally couldn't play her. It did feel like taking the training wheels off and being able to ride the bike properly for the first time. She's so quick and responsive.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very, very different characters.
And her guard as well is impeccable. Nothing can get through them.
Yeah, the sides of the face and the hands are your primary targets, but if you're striking her from the center, it's really tough sometimes to get through, yeah.
Absolutely. And she bends her knee quite a lot as well.
Yeah, true. I'll be right back. I'll leave you to the commentators.
Well, it's in trustworthy hands, and as we can see here, Nex is taking the early lead in the duel. Perhaps in a repeat of last round, but Grid Square isn't going to take that lying down so easily. As they're both exchanging blows here, neither one relinquishing their bodies. And they've both paused here for a moment. What's going on, fellas? A lag spike? Well, if there is a lag spike, you know the typical... Oh, not quite capitalising on that blow to the head there, but Grid Square finds his mark regardless. In a beautiful round of combat there. Very well done to both players. It was wonderful to see. Much shorter round there, as Grid Square seems to be leaning into aggression and being rewarded for it, as he's tied up the match. Okay, let's see. Defensive posturing from Nex, waiting for some whiffs there. Isabella's also guard revealing itself to be impervious to seemingly all harm. The two are happy simply to trade blows at the edge of their guard, neither one willing to give an inch. Oh wow! And an excellent use of a push there, as I don't know if that was a lag spike, but Grid Square seemed intent on giving the other player a good smooch on the lips there, rather than attacking them by getting up and close and personal. But that was likely lag. If any of the players do complain, perhaps we could retry such a flag. Grid Square conspicuously entering the Fool's Guard for but a moment there. And standing still yet again. It appears one of our combatants is either using some very interesting strategies or is suffering some latency problems. Hello? Is anyone home? Oh dear, it appears we have some latency issues. Grid Square standing perfectly still. I'll see what it says in the chat. Grid Square talking about a lag spike characteristic. And off goes their wrist. Very unfortunate there for Grid Square, who's playing at a disadvantage, despite the fact that they are on the same character. Going for a push there. I don't know who they were fighting. Perhaps a ghost. An attempt at a head shot from the high guard there. Not quite working. Ooh, but Grid Square responding with their typical pummel whack into a chop. But of course the end of that duel results in a double for a healthy lag spike. Ooh, a double again. Grid Square must, of course, be very happy with such a result, as I thought Nex had him dead to rights, but seemingly not the case. The pair going for pushes there, but Grid Square doing it a bit out of measure, unfortunately, and getting punished for it, as Nex responds with a push of their own. You don't want to be hitting out of measure, not against Isabella of all people. Oh dear, it appears another lag spike has taken its toll on Nex. Not Nex, on Grid Square, sorry. And seeing a fighter like this is quite a shame, regardless of the standing of the match or your opinion on the fighter themselves. It's almost like watching Muhammad Ali when he had Parkinson's and was boxing every Tom, Dick and Harry to try and make some money. I don't know how he lost all that money. I mean, he was a multi-millionaire, but regardless, it's sad to see. Grid Square being completely idle here and screaming in the USFC chat. I can only imagine what the people at home think of this. But of course, good sportsmanship from his opponent, as Nex is currently giving them plenty of time to recover and recuperate. A brief snapping there. Perhaps inputs are getting through. It's hard to say. Apparently Grid Square is trying to input, but Parsec isn't responding. Oh, but he's retained control now, not wanting to give up so easily. A couple of chops there coming out swinging. But such wanton aggression is always punished. And very well played to both. It is unfortunate of the circumstances of which this match is taking place in, being it is as laggy as it is. I shall have to talk with Subotai when he comes back if we can perhaps host it on Steam or some other app to see if such issues abate, as despite Subotai trying his absolute best to make the connection work for everyone involved, sadly many combatants do seem to have a bit of latency. Kubold, please fix. He's never going to, however. He doesn't want to put in a multiplayer mode or servers. And personally, I don't blame him. He's a solo dev, but regardless, it's an unfortunate situation we find ourselves in. And let's see in the Discord. Grid Square on the left here, seemingly apprehensive, but finally getting in there. And it looks like we're due for another Isabella duel, but oh! No? Are they changing characters? Our combatant on the left, Grid Square here, perhaps wanting a change of strategy. He's trying to pick Tavanaski. He is, but Tav recently has been very shy, and whenever he's selected, he chooses instead to flick to his mate, the other character, of Jakub, who in my headcanon are good friends because they both wear orange, and that's how being a friend works. Interesting start to the match here, resulting in a double of all things. Despite the lag from Grid Square's side, his aggression was rewarded there.
Alright, I'm back.
Now Tav is... Hello, Zubatar. I have dreadful news. There's been a torrent of lag spikes suffered by Grid Square in this match, and it has affected his performance and the pace of the match itself. He's suffering from severe lag.
Yeah, he's from Asia, so unfortunately I'm not sure if there's much we can do there.
Oh, I see. He's from the distant east. And of course, Subotai being in Canada is from the distant west. So as a result, it's...
I mean, it's likely gonna be worse, but we can try.
Indeed. If it's within his right to request such a thing, it's within his rights. However, to summarise, there were lag spikes, but despite this, the Isabella duel was fairly competitive, as Grid Square did have more success on Isabella, as opposed to Couch Team, is the summarise of the second round that I can give you. And it is currently 2-0 in Nex's favour.
Yeah, so you guys should just be able to carry on since the Grid Square is on the keyboard. Brilliant. Let me know if it is better though, Grid Square. I am curious, but usually I find Steam Remote is a lot more unstable.
I wonder why that is. Steam Remote is still client-to-client connection, is it not?
Yeah, I think Steam is just often really lazy, because they have a borderline monopoly on that whole remote play sort of niche. as well as having
absolutely
a big, game store and stuff like that. So
well, it's like they say,
specializes in the remote play thing, so I assume they try to make it better.
Yes. Well, it's like they say, we would already have Half-Life 3 if Valve wasn't sitting on an infinite money machine.
Yeah.
As they say, pressure makes diamonds, and Valve is under no pressure whatsoever.
Oh, nice.
Oh dear. A bit of showboating from Next there as she strings along the life of her opponent like a spider playing with its prey. Oh wow. The pair getting a strike there, surprisingly.
Alright, so Grid Square does think Steam is better. So if people want to try Steam, let me know. Maybe Parsec is having problems right now.
Who knows? Often dealing with this computing nonsense can often feel like dealing with arcane mysteries. There is no science to it, it is merely trial and error.
Yeah, and whether or not all the pieces happen to be, in place or not, and stuff like that. Most of it
is beyond the understanding of the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Nice double there. Grid Square will no doubt be very happy with this result, as he wants a foothold in this match and doesn't want Next to be running away with the game. Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent duel there. Let's see, can they make the comeback of a lifetime? Or will it be a one-sided stomp? I certainly hope for a comeback, but I wouldn't get your hopes up, ladies and gentlemen, because it seems Next is almost certain to take this match, but you never know, it's not over yet. I've seen stranger things happen.
Next styling on his opponent.
Indeed. Well, they both appear to be styling at the moment, but oh my goodness!
He did a little hop as well. His face was cut in half.
He did
a hop on as he fell.
Bloody hell, that was more gruesome than some of the things I've seen on Live lately. I don't think I've ever seen such a brutal execution in Hellish Quart.
Yeah, Tarno's got that new gore on his head, so if a sufficiently powerful blow hits, his head will be completely too. Just like that, actually.
As we see there, yes. Yeah. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the new gore. Well played to Next, by the way, who takes the match. But both Isabella and Tav have the new gore system, but nobody else.
Yeah, and on specific parts of the body, too, so it's definitely a work in progress, but still.
On the arms on Isabella, but not the head, and on the head and arms for Tav. And on the legs, actually. You can actually chop off his legs.
Yeah, it always catches me off guard, too, because I'm used to the old wound decals, but then I see the head cut in two, and you hear me chuckle and stuff, because I never expected it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, well, it takes me off guard, honestly. It scares me, because it makes me realise the horror of war, and how brutal such injuries can be. But well played to both players. Enough of my philosophical nonsense, and on to the next match. Hopefully we will have less latency issues. Yeah. And here we have Miss Info versus Maestro. Solid match if ever there was one. Both players were in the Olympics tourney, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Maestro is here. And Max will be here soon, hopefully.
Is Maestro Lady...
No.
No, that's somebody else. No, that's... I know... I can smell a Marie player when I see one. Just as a joke there. Zero actually has a favourable matchup into Marie, and I still dislike fighting her.
Max did random characters and got Denise right off the bat, and he was like, "No, I'm using Jan." He wanted to be honorable too.
Although, I mean, what a random selection of Denise and Jan, one after the other.
Yeah, Jan is still pretty tough. I mean, it's not like he got a bad deal out of that regardless, so...
I tried briefly, I put in, I don't know if you could call it learning as much as rubbing your face against the book as learning, but I tried learning Jan for the Olympics tourney, and I almost got some results with him, to be fair. He's Versatile, to say the least.
Oh, hang on. Max needs a keyboard. Like I said, guys, if Parsec is lagging, in all likelihood it's Parsec's side, so we can use Steam as well. You're on the left, Max.
Yes. Although Max himself is from Europe, from Poland, the land of Poles, as it is often called. Whereas Maestro, I'm not aware of where Maestro is from.
Hassan? I thought you picked Jan. I guess he doesn't want Jan either. He's like, Jan is too strong.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean...
He wishes to play as the Janissary.
Yeah.
Let's see, can he put Russ Mitchell's good advice to use? You were talking to Russ Mitchell the other day about the advice he gave.
Yeah.
For Hassan. How'd that go?
He said he was really happy to know that his advice was helpful. But he also chuckled at the fact that it turns out Hassan is still, you know, he still needs some buffing.
Very bad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He found it very amusing. Game after this round, yeah, that's fine, Maestro. I'll tell you what, guys, we'll default to Steam if it goes well for Maestro too.
Yes.
Because I don't want to switch everything.
Absolutely. It appears, for our criticisms of Steam, they appear to have cornered the market both on the remote play and the games front.
Yeah.
The match being evened out. Wanton aggression from Zero there, getting him the double, as can be expected. Oh, hold on. I have to go. I'll be back another time.
Yeah, no worries.
So long.
Thank you for coming into the comments.
Bye.
See ya.
I will return.
For now, we'll watch this excellent duel between these two. Max actually making it competitive, but Maestro is a little bit ahead now after that upcut. Zera has these devastating upcuts that cover a lot of space. It makes it really tough for Hassan to close in. Why is it Max is in the fight card? I put him against Maestro. Push attempt is immediately punished. Good by Max. Max should have grabbed. And that's an earlier flag though. The chat being a little bit in the past, but that's YouTube for you. Double. I have to say, very impressive performance by Max, even if Maestro closes it here. His head got rattled there, initially did not get hit, but Maestro did the right thing by continuing the attack. We are gonna switch to Steam. I'll say both of you should probably do it. But it's up to you, Max. If it looks good for you and you want to keep playing on Parsec, you do not have to. It might be easier if you do, but it's not required. So I'll just give Maestro a link, and then give me a shout, Max, if you, for some reason, want Steam as well. I'm really surprised Steam is working better, but if it is, we will just default to Steam after this fight. Alright. So Maestro will be on the left now. Hopefully you're able to select. Nice. Sticking with Hassan. Okay. You called... Oh, I called info. That's because they're in the same house at the moment, so... Max wanted me to ping info to notify him that he's fighting. Let me know if this is better, by the way, Maestro. I would really like to know that, because Ridge Square said it was better, and he's from Asia. A little. Yeah, I don't know. My internet's really good, so I don't have an answer for that one, I'm afraid. But at least it's better. Doesn't appear to be my end, but I don't know. Maxville seems like he hasn't even complained about lag, so that's interesting as well. That's the other thing, like everybody's internet connection is different, so it's, you know, sometimes people, for mysterious reasons, do well on a host, and then do well on another host. Even if on paper that shouldn't be forward. Nice leg sweep there by Maestro, going ham. Nice bat by Maestro, dominating this matchup now, which is more like what I would have expected, to be honest. Back Y. Maestro with the wind up, but does get hit in the head. Cut by Maestro, but that does block the initial cut. That was beautiful. Single tempo by Maestro and then volleys it off. And then another single tempo. A bit of a trade there, but it does favor Maestro. Okay, we're gonna switch in just a moment. Nobody's moving for some reason. Max is on the left again? Yeah. No Samuel. Just going with Connor, is it? No, he's choosing Hassan still. I mean, good luck. That's all I got to say. I really wish I got to see Max's Samuel here in his fight, but it's very likely not gonna happen. Big cuts by Maestro. They simply have way too much power and range for Hassan to cope with. And Maestro is using them in the correct measure. This time Hassan comes out on top. Big flashes by Maestro. Just not able to close down that long sword. One more needed. Dashing to the side, Maestro. Back Y. Maestro's tired. Yep, that's the chance that Max needs here to land a clean hit. And there's the hit from Maestro, and that's it. That is it. Alright, good fights though, guys. I unfortunately think Hassan is a little bit too weak, but that's how it goes. Grey Jaw against Radzig now. Max, your leg was fine, I hope. You didn't even complain about anything, so. Or mention anything, how about that? Because complaining's a bit of a strong word. Radzig versus Greyjaw. Oh yes, if you want Steam, let me know. Okay, like you don't have to use Parsec if you don't want it. We'll give, I think Radzig's the one who just joined, yeah. So we can give Greyjaw a minute or so. If Greyjaw doesn't show up, we'll move straight to info against Togoshi. Unfortunately, there weren't many opponents available, so I had to give Togoshi info. Info joined last minute. So that's how it goes. But I hope Togoshi has a good time. I'm sure Info's at least gonna use Marta anyway. So there might be a chance. Info's not a very good Marta player by her own admission, so both players have elected to use Parsec, so we will stick with Parsec. I did give them the option for Steam. They still chose Parsec, so. Yeah, you have keyboard. There's Greyjaw needed as well, though. Again, Radzig on the left, Greyjaw on the right. Uh, Greyjaw is not able to connect. I'm not sure why. Yeah, we can still try Steam beer. It could have just been a temporary error. Reset Parsec, that's fine. Alright, regardless, we'll see what's available and just go from there. I can't control who's available and who's not, so. Greyjaw's controller is not working, he said. He's not on keyboard, so that's not what it is. I don't even see his controller trying to input anything. So in Parsec, I can see if somebody has controller and they're trying to press stuff, but I do not see any of that for Greyjaw. I don't know what I can do on my end to fix that. I don't know if Steam Remote will fix that, but we can try. That seems more like something on your end, but regardless, here you go. Yeah, we'll figure it out. In 50 minutes. Maybe if Koala is available, I don't know. Platypi just said he wants to join last minute, which is fine if we can get him somebody, but I'm not sure if Koala is available. That would be the best bet. If not, I'm not gonna do a repeat fight, unfortunately. So, I mean, I could get somebody else to do a second fight, but right now I don't think we should, so. I'll try and get somebody fresh to fight you. Yeah. Appreciate you understanding all the same. If Koala responds within, I'll say like half an hour is probably the target. We'll get you to fight. Because these fights can take like 20 minutes. Yeah. Yeah, and we already have other people who just randomly come in like last minute, so that's the other thing, but yeah, I appreciate the understanding. Okay, apparently Steam Remote is just better right now. I'm not sure why. We're gonna default to that regardless of what people request in the future. Because Parsec is having some issues that I can't really fix, so. Nice sidestep into cuts there by Radzig. This is a matchup Hassan probably could win reasonably effectively. They're both glass cannons, so it's just a matter of getting a hit in first. Nice sidestep into cut to the arm. Nice chop to the liver there. Hey! Fairly even fight actually, although Radzig is ahead, so it is looking good for him at the moment. Glad to see Hassan getting a moment in the spotlight. Nice trick shot, really fancy move there, but it works perfectly in this situation. Liver chop attempted there, a little out of measure. That trick shot nearly landing for Radzig. That would have been cool. Bobo is pinging me, maybe he wants in. You have returned? Alright, I'll let you in right after this one. A little awkward for me to do it right now.
Amos!
No, for text as well if he is not listening. See in the YouTube chat, I haven't looked at it in a little bit. Just Hassan's and praising the players, yeah. Chop it. There's a nice feint though by a Greyjaw. And then Greyjaw goes in right at the right moment. Down to the wire. Nice hit by Radzig. No kill. But stamina's down. That dashing doesn't look so good for Greyjaw either. Just needs to land one more hit. And there it is, the retreat cut as Greyjaw tries to move into the liver chop, not having the range to oppose that. And I'll let Bobo back in.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. I have gotten back from eating a chili with rice and beans and peppers and Doritos, and I must say, it was delicious. And of more relevance, perhaps, we had a very interesting battle that I caught the tail end of there between Hassan and Jendrik, and Jendrik is once again proving why, in my mind, he's at the bottom of the tier list.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the definition of a glass cannon. If you can exploit that, then he's in a lot of trouble.
Although that being said, Venator beat me with Jendrik, which I think speaks to the gulf in experience between some of the haves and have-nots in this server.
Oh.
Oh dear. We're already getting connection issues.
Yeah, this was Steam.
Is this still the duel between Max and...
No, Greyjaw against Radzig.
What was the outcome of that duel?
Greyjaw was able to win. Got kicked? I didn't kick you, but...
That was between Max and Maestro, I think.
Yeah, earlier on, yeah, Maestro won.
Naturally. The Zera army remains strong. You see, every single time a Zera player fights someone in the USFC, they win. But there were just two Zera players fighting each other to do it.
Yeah, he's definitely really strong.
We put it can be, yeah. Oh my goodness. And the frame finish, no less.
Yeah,
of course, if you're unfamiliar, I'm not sure if that's a bug, but if you press escape at any point during the fight, as you kill your opponent, you get like a perfect freeze frame of the moment you killed them. Yeah. Normally it simply skips the ending animation, which most players do, otherwise the duel will be 50% people celebrating, and nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, especially if you're on the receiving end. It's
absolutely, yes.
Improper, I suppose, on the character.
Yeah, it can be very tilting.
Yeah.
Especially if you use the Martha or Yendra. They do a whole song and dance, don't they?
Yeah. Marina's is evil. She just does this evil laugh, especially if she wins the whole series. She'll do this evil, like, witch laugh.
Absolutely. She has two laughs, actually, and then like a sword flourish is a third animation. She's horrible. I remember in arcade mode when I was first playing the game, I didn't know what the pushing button was, so I was always stumped on how to beat Marina, and that laugh drove me up a wall. Yeah. I hate that character.
Credit to the
actress about
her, though. She did a great job with that.
Oh yeah, phenomenal. In the story mode as well, all the actors did an incredible job. Yeah, by the way, I must say, the story mode, for how brief it is very funny, comically speaking. I was laughing consistently.
Yeah. Well, especially Zera's entrance, like, when we meet him, and then later in the combat when he takes that guy's head off, like, it was just cinema.
Without even meaning to,
yeah.
And then you have Laszlo who sees that and is like, yeah, I'm off, whatever. Not bothered. I like how the whole ending of that, no one gets what they want. The entire story of Hellish Quart is, so far, it's the inciting incident is trying to get written into a will.
Yeah.
And none of the children get written into the will at the end of it. They all lose.
Yeah.
So it's entirely a farce.
And it's not good guys versus bad guys. It's just people, looking out for themselves. I think it's a lot more real that way.
Yeah, it's all greed. Well, it's just bad guys versus bad guys in that sense then. Except for Father Zero, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He was, I wonder what his story will be. Will it be him going to the Polish corner shop to get booze, perhaps? And getting into a kerfuffle along the way? The Renaissance era...
Nobleman. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be interesting. And then it flashes forward and he's drinking alcohol out of a bin.
Yep.
He sleeps in a dumpster.
Yeah. Exchanges here.
Perhaps he will become a tragic figure. Because it's still a mystery as to what Zera's origin is. We don't even know what crime he committed, although we know he is hunted by the authorities.
Yeah.
If he committed a crime, and what that crime was, that led him down the life of becoming the emissary of God.
Yeah.
Is still a mystery.
Yeah. What if it's heresy? That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It does say in his law that he's not really a priest. He's just making it up.
Yeah. So it could be, especially in Catholic Poland, that he did something that was very sacrilegious and then lost his noble status as a result.
See, yeah, he gave old Martin Luther King a look.
Yeah.
That was a bit. That was in the 1600s, wasn't it? The Great Reformation.
So you're confusing Martin Luther King Jr. and Martin Luther. Those are two different people.
Oh, am I? Oh, my mistake. One of them was the Protestant who used the printing press to write reasons why the rules. And then there's also Martin Luther King Jr., the black preacher, who was very important to civil rights.
Yeah.
I personally like to think they're all related. One's the grandfather, one's the father, and one's the grandson. And they're just hundreds of years apart, but don't worry about it.
They'd have quite the fundamental disagreements, though. It's funny, I was doing a Renaissance unit for grade 8 for my practicum, and students handed in an assignment, and they made that exact mistake. They thought Martin Luther was Martin Luther King Jr., so they started talking about democratic values and equality and stuff like this. I'm like, yeah, Martin Luther wouldn't
he would have hated
believe in that stuff. Yeah. No,
wait, so what? Who was Martin Luther? Martin Luther Jr. was the Great Reformation Protestant. Who was Martin Luther?
Sorry, no, Martin Luther's the Protestant, like, just Martin Luther. It's not, there's nothing after that.
Oh, there's only two of them then. So Martin Luther and Right, I just got the name confused, but the history was right. My mistake.
Yeah.
So there's only two Martin Luthers then that are relevant to history, broadly.
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
Okay, very good. I thought there was like two Martin Luther Juniors, and there was a Martin Luther I hadn't heard about. You confused me greatly. I'm never gonna want to say Martin Luther again.
Yeah, well, at least you're not sitting in my classroom, so you have an excuse there. But the students, I think they just like chat GPT'd something, or I don't know what they did.
Absolutely. We're raising a generation of bricklayers. I will say. Perhaps a bit cruel of me, but I do feel great worry towards the minds of the youth.
Greyjaw got kicked or something. Koala, by the way, will be fighting Platypi right after this. So that's...
I see, awesome. Platypi, a very good player.
Yeah, so I think another reason you got him confused, as Jan Ark mentioned, like they both were very religious men.
Yes.
So that's the other thing.
They were. Well, I was realised they both had different names, but I thought they were both called Junior. Was my mistake.
Yeah, yeah.
Just going to say, I mean, hundreds of years after his death, he could have had sex with a black woman, and then Martin Luther Jr. pops out. I'm just saying, they could be related. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible. A lot of black Americans do have, white or European if you want to, if you will, like in their blood somewhere.
Yes.
If it's like a smaller
because
it's still there.
The women who were enslaved often had unspeakable things done to them was the reason, and children came out as a result of that.
Yeah, and there's a ton of
horrible
laws too. Like if you had a certain percentage of black in your blood, like that's all it took to be considered black in the minds of Americans at that time. So yeah, a lot of messed up
Well,
stuff.
after slavery was done, a mass incarceration system was still effectively a way to get around the emancipation laws. Yep. So it was illegal for black men in the South to be whistling. You had the Jim Crow laws. If they were whistling or looked the wrong way at a white person, they could be arrested. And often you'd have child labour well under the age of 18. Working in prisons. And they still have that system today. It's different in its form, of course.
Yeah. 100%. And the U.S. Constitution allows for it is the thing. I'm not gonna get deep into that, but that's why.
What is it called? It's called the 3/4 rule or something, where like a black person doesn't fully count.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brexit, horrible things by horrible people.
Yeah.
Regardless, the current battle that is going on, Hassan, surprisingly, being able to etch out a foothold into the match, despite being considered a weaker character. His durability and health afforded by being Turkish is giving him remarkable leverage in this match.
Yeah.
Because matchup-wise, would you not say Hassan is at something of a disadvantage here?
I'd say so, yeah. He's really vulnerable to being stabbed. But unfortunately, Radzig is able to use his experience, I would say, to make this matchup a lot more even.
Yes, I'm quite vulnerable to being stabbed as well. If you stabbed me in the face, I'd die.
Nice.
Which is a little known fact. And as he shows it off there, stabbing someone in the face usually does them in and one.
Next is also gravely concerned with how AI is being abused in education. Yeah, and it's not just the students. I know I talk a lot about how the students are abusing it, but there's definitely teachers who are also abusing it.
The teachers, yeah.
To make their job
in fact, in my family, there's two teachers in my family, and they've said regulating AI is so difficult that we've just given up and we've started to teach them how to use it now. And that to me is like sort of giving in to defeat. In my view, I don't think.
Yeah. Like for me, it's fine to teach them how it works. You can't get away from that. I would make a lesson around essentially having them experiment a bit with it, and then they have to write about like what the AI got wrong, essentially based on what we learned, type of thing.
Yes, because inaccuracies are right in this sort of thing. Yeah. That what grinds my gears and boils my blood is when these so-called entrepreneurs, these billionaires who don't invent but take credit for these technologies, as they are the fundraisers for them, they claim that they are inevitable, and nothing else annoys me more as someone claiming that they are inevitable.
Yeah. Like Thanos did, yeah.
Yeah, well, it is villainous inherently, and they're so confused as to why people dislike them, especially in the younger generation after they've caused a job crisis. And their entire marketing scheme is, we're going to make half of humanity obsolete, don't worry about it. We're going to destroy everything and make a lot of money off of it. How are we going to afford to pay people? Don't worry about it. That's effectively their entire... And we've gotten massively off track from the duels, but... my point is, if Hassan was around today, he'd be anti-AI.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Yeah. I would like to think most people in the past would be, except maybe some of the elite, who, like the sort of bourgeoisie. Maybe they want to cash in, but otherwise, most people would be against
like Calc. The billionaires of today, the percentage of wealth they have is so much more than the landed gentry of even the Renaissance era. Because currently in the United Kingdom, I suppose, the wealth inequality currently here is as bad as it was during Victorian times, during the Dickensian era of Christmas Carol and stories of this nature.
I'm not entirely sure that's the case. It just depends on how you define wealth. A lot of the nobles back then, like their wealth was in land. So the percentage of land that they owned was massive, and that was where most of their wealth was, not so much in like gold and stuff. But
Raw money. Yeah.
yeah, and in like ancient Rome,
It's
for
more in assets
example,
nowadays.
yeah. And in ancient Rome, for example, you had private individuals literally funding armies that were able to take on other states as well. Billionaires, as wealthy as they
Debatably still
are,
have that today.
can't really do that.
Uh,
But
well,
they
they can
are,
certainly help. They can buy out the
they do help.
governments
Yeah,
that hold the
yeah,
military. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
far more of an insidious
yeah,
influence, I would say.
yeah, I would say so. And it's really tough to measure wealth compared to now in the past. 'Cause you can't just use inflation, because if you do that, then essentially you're missing the fact that wealth appears in multiple forms, not just money. And
Mm.
regardless of inflation, certain amounts of money could buy different things in the past than they could today. There was a lot less in the past, I guess, to spend money on, beyond
Yes.
like necessities and, if you're a lord, perhaps military or, you know,
Well, they lacked a
furnishing your
consumerist
castle.
society before the industrial times, didn't they?
Yeah,
Because they lacked mass production of goods, and then when
yeah,
they had mass production of goods, they went on to a consumerist society.
yeah. Point being, there's a lot of inequality today. There's no denying that. I think it just looks different than it did in the past.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's relative poverty today because in the olden times, people were so poor, in Victorian London, for instance, that you had to steal or you would die.
yeah,
Nowadays, that isn't so much of a necessity, but the poverty is relative. You can have air conditioning and a fan, and due to energy and the production that we have, um, what was I going to say? That we have today. I saw a great analogy from one guy called Dennis Meadows. He was the writer of The Limits to Growth in 1972. And he said in Roman times, the emperors, they had 20,000 slaves working for them.
yeah,
And a barrel of oil, when burned, is equivalent to the energy production of 20,000 men. So the
yeah,
reason we have relatively comfortable lives in at least first world countries for many people is because we have this abundance of energy and consumerism are brought to us by the industrial society.
yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. And in the past, like if you were to look at comparative GDP between countries, I mean, GDP
Mm.
is a funny term to use back then. They didn't use it.
It's misleading.
But
Yeah.
if you were to sort of crunch the numbers, you'd find a lot of countries are pretty close to each other. There's no like one country that's wildly ahead of everybody else. But once
Like
you
a
get
superpower.
industrialization and imperialism in Europe, that's when that changes.
Yeah, I mean, the United Kingdom for about a century was just running the show. I mean, how we
Yeah,
fobbed it all up and got to where we were today, I have no idea. But there's a reason why the most widely spoken language is English. I'll tell you that much for free.
yeah,
The heinous things we did to make that possible, I do not agree with. But regardless, it's what happened.
yeah. Like in the medieval period, for example, like you could argue perhaps the Mongols for a moment like owned a huge percentage of the world's, I guess, GDP for a time.
3 generations, roughly.
But it
I
was a
wouldn't exactly call it
decentralized
GDP.
economy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It was
But
a marauding. I mean, you're super tycoon. You should know this. The Golden Horde. They had a few masters. Not really an economic plan other than to attack.
yeah, I mean they had a pretty stable economy. I think the thing was though, it was a really decentralized trade network in their empire. So the whole deal
Mm.
was you join us, you get sweet trade deals and you get security. And so that's why a lot of people joined up with them instead of fighting, beyond of course the
Yeah.
brutality. That was also a nice way to convince people.
Yes.
But that was a
That's the
big part
thing.
of it as
Genghis
well.
Khan. He was hell on his enemies and good to his friends, and that's how you
Yeah.
should be. The best way to win a war is to convince the enemy that not fighting is the easier solution, either by compromise or by surrender. But
Yeah.
if you don't offer that, then people will, typically go out on their shield. I think. I'm sorry to interrupt there, but the art of war talks
Yeah.
about never fully encircle an enemy, or if you are
Yeah.
fully encircled, let your men
Fight if
know
I
that they'll
left.
die, because
Yeah.
then they'll fight to the last. If there's an option of surrender, people will usually take it as opposed to dying.
Yeah. And that's why the Mongols, when they quote unquote encircled people, they actually left an avenue where people could run away. Because it's so much easier to deal with people who are running away than trying to fight.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Controller.
They were clever, those Mongols. And yet
Yeah.
today in England, if you call someone a Mongol, it's an insult for them being stupid. Perhaps that's European bias.
I'd say so, yeah. Anyway, what was the point I was making? Medieval economies were pretty close to equal, generally speaking. There were some outliers, like China was pretty prosperous and had a massive population, but
it was very divided, though.
overall,
the China of the past was not the
yeah,
China of today. It's very
that's
rarely
true
been
as well.
united. India too.
Yeah,
India has only been
India
united
wasn't really
3
a
times
thing.
in its
Yeah,
history.
yeah,
Yeah, in modern times, which doesn't count, the English Raj, which wasn't really India, and then like once by Chandragupta.
yeah,
It's like there was a really funny meme video where it's like Chinese history in a nutshell. It's 20 seconds long, and it's like, bro, imagine if I unified China. He unifies it, it falls apart, and then another guy comes along and says, imagine if I unified China. And that's
yeah,
all of Chinese history.
yeah. But beyond that, like most countries, as far as how the poor were living, they were pretty much the same. Like there wasn't that big of a difference across the board. And as far as how the elite were living, it was pretty much the same. Not that big of a difference as far as productivity and comfort and stuff like that.
And that completely changed. Well, maybe not the
Yeah,
elite, but relative levels of poverty have definitely changed.
yeah. And industrialization, like it or not, did help facilitate the emergence of the middle class too. So that's another good thing I would say that came out of
Yes.
it. Now, of course, is the middle class inevitable? Is it inevitably going to remain strong? No. But
Absolutely not.
over time, that was
Yeah.
one of the big benefits that came about.
Indeed.
Platypi,
Well, you're not arguing with Ted Kaczynski, so I'll not offer counterpoints, but
yeah.
or play devil's advocate. But you know, it is interesting to see how class divides change over time.
Yeah.
Because you did have some attempts at revolutions, peasant revolutions, like in the United Kingdom during the British Civil War, not the War of the Roses, the one after that. Oliver Cromwell versus, I don't know, Charles II, I think it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a faction, a sub-faction, called the Levelers, and they're really fascinating. In the Communist Manifesto, they were called the first ever communists because they led peasant revolution in the Civil War, were betrayed by the side that they helped, and were all killed. Robert Overton was the name of their leader. It's very fascinating stuff.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if Platypi can get his controller working. I see it now. Before I couldn't see it.
Indeed.
Now I do see it. Oh, somebody...
Suffering connection issues is normal.
I think that might have been Platypi. Let's try that. There we go. Yeah, so I gave Platypi keyboard controls just now, accidentally as well. I removed those, so hopefully we won't be getting that. Oh yeah, there's a bug, Platypi, I'm afraid, that Kubold introduced. That's not Steam Remote, that's the game. You have to select Tarnowski really quickly. There you go. Because otherwise it will move straight down to Jakub. Because Kubold wants to advertise his new character, I guess.
I think Kaz is just very shy, is the outcome of this. Yeah. He doesn't want to be picked. He's very bashful, if you can't tell by his vengeful laughing whenever he kills someone.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh,
now, surprisingly...
Go
on. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was just talking about nonsense in the chat. Like, oh, Chris saying Total War games, no first-hand. Like, if you play those, that you don't want to just completely circle the enemy. You want to leave a gap so they can run away and kill them.
Yes. In the old Total War games, where they had strategy. In the Warhammer ones, it's just get your big monster, smash, win.
Yeah.
It's a shame what happened to the Total War franchise, but...
Yeah, I hope Medieval 3 will be good. I have very mixed feelings about that announcement. If they make it good, it'll be amazing, but if they don't, then it's just going to be a disappointment.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. Creative Assembly, the makers of Total War. I got into the Total War Warhammer space because I'm a big Warhammer fan, and then I went down this massive rabbit hole of Creative Assembly and their nonsense. And it turns out they're as vicious as a game developer gets in some aspects. Anyway, this rule is quite interesting so far. Lots of pushing and shoving so far. It seems that whenever he can get in close and parry, that's when Tav is most happiest. Because unlike Connor, shoving does work against this character. I have to ask Oak though, if he was there for the Olympics, how did he rate all the people playing Connor? Because I know that Connor is a main of his, and he's very rarely played otherwise.
Nice sidestep.
Indeed.
It's actually really close.
Touch of
Platypi has an initial lead.
Yes. I sympathise with anyone fighting a shield character because it's very easy to get impatient against them, especially when you have the tantalising reward of a running in shove, like we see there. A bit of patience will win you the day.
Okay, so now they're saying Steam is not working and maybe they want Parsec.
You can't win, can you, Subutai? You do everything to help them, but they always want the other thing.
Ignore the Steam link.
The grass is always greener on the other side, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. I did a test today just before, like literally just before the stream started, and it was good, so. Yeah, I appreciate the understanding though, Koala. Said he'll just bowl his way through it if it still is annoying. Yeah, Platypi on the left. No, sorry, you guys started on the left. We're switching now. Platypi just won his first round. So you're switching. Koala will be on the left this time. Okay, hopefully Steam didn't mess Parsec. That was the other issue we can run into. If so, we can restart the game. It's not a big deal. Maybe I'll do that right now. I'll reset gamepads while I'm at it. Yeah, so it's not anything you guys need to fix if it's not working. It's just that Steam interferes.
Let's see what's in for this match.
Okay, let me know if it's better, guys.
I
can
certainly
also
hope
play
it is.
with the megabits per second too. But
Is there ever a nicer host than Subutai? He does everything for an unappreciative player base.
nice cut to the head.
Yes.
Better for Platypi? Okay. Yeah, the internet works in mysterious ways for everybody involved, not just me.
Yes. It's offering credence to the saying that the machine has given up the ghost. Where often it feels completely ephemeral as to what makes something work or not work when it comes to technology.
Yeah. And the other thing is Platypi is from Canada as well, from the same province in the same city, so the connection could also just be different, and so Parsec works better for some reason. I don't know.
I recall you saying that you were entertaining the idea of fencing in person, or in person rather.
Yeah, we haven't gotten around to it yet because of our schedules and stuff. I also haven't talked to him about it. It is something I'm considering.
Be interesting if it does happen. You'd certainly have to show the server Hellish Quart in real life.
Yeah, definitely will be filmed if that
maybe
does happen.
Maybe act on the stipulation of you can only use moves used in the game.
Yeah, that would be interesting as well. Like I'm
you have
stuck
to
on bar
roleplay a
bash
character.
moves or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, oftentimes when I'm alone, I swing a baseball bat around that I have in my house, and I pretend I'm Father Zero and copy all his moves.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, I've gotten better at fighting as a result just by copying it. You can step into your attacks to get more power. You can snap cut by just moving your wrist. You can pick up a lot just from watching this game.
Yeah, for sure. Say what you want about Kubel, but the animation work is amazing, and it's based in real moves that exist in real life, so
yes,
it's really well done in that department.
Well, he was the mocap director for The Witcher 3, was he not?
Yeah, he did a lot of the animation work for that, so he really knows what he's doing.
It's just everything else we wish he knew what he was doing as well.
Yeah. But he has actually finally read some of the stuff I was sending him on Facebook, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
has he responded?
Yeah, and he thanked me for wishing his mother well, too. He was having... his mother had, like, shoulder surgery or something, and that was part of the reason he was delayed in dealing with the update, so...
The recent bug. Yes, with
the
menu screen. Yeah. Well, hopefully this small seed of communication can flourish into something wonderful. Because we all want him to communicate with the community. I haven't a clue why he stopped. Perhaps there's a villain origin story in there that we're all missing.
Yeah.
Perhaps someone was particularly rude to him. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be. Because there were some rude people on Steam even when he announced what happened with his mother. So you never know. Some people are just rotten. Especially when they know that Kubel cannot punch them in real life. They can just say whatever they want.
Or hit them with a sword. There is fewer places on the internet that are a greater hive of scum and villainy than the Steam forums.
Yeah.
An interesting use of combos there, switching foot constantly. He's got quite hypnotic footwork, hasn't he, old Tabernasky?
Yeah, he does. And they both got tired there after a fast exchange, which is cool.
Indeed, and I decided to have a temporary truce.
Platypi switching guards a lot, and then goes to the side, nice.
That would exhaust you in real life, the constant switching of guards, wouldn't it? Because it's effectively just attacking without swinging.
It could, but swords are relatively light. I'd say if you're really well trained with one, especially the sword that you're holding, I think you could cope with it. That's why the stamina in this game is a little bit unrealistic in some ways, as far as how exaggerated it is.
They could have just had undiagnosed asthma.
Yeah.
Yeah. For balance reasons.
Yeah. But fighting is exhausting. It would slow you down. That's really more what a stamina drop would do, realistically. Less so the I'm gonna stumble and present my head type of thing.
Yeah. That's like if you're completely buggered. If you get attacked multiple times, I can see that being the case.
Yeah.
If you're completely wounded because...
Yeah. And that's why I like
the
fact
pain
that
tolerance must be insane.
Too. Yeah.
Yes, that is a nice mechanic. I like that too. Because even if you were just cut, I don't know what his plan was there. An excellent photo finish. We didn't get to see it, but that was a grab. I imagine that was a lag spike where he unintentionally walked forward.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do into a grab.
Well, it's trying to let go that guard, but the punch to the face, nice. And Platypi actually wins it. Pretty decisive victory here. Hopefully the lag was better this time.
Hopefully. What you rarely see is Gideon. He has a punch move that he can do outside of measure, and you never see it, probably because it's useless. But it's a funny attack. You could just punch the enemy in a sword fight.
Mm-hmm. They both enjoyed it. That's good. Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Okay, Togoshi against Info now. Togoshi is a bit newer. Couldn't find a suitable opponent, and Info joined late, so I just decided to have Info fight against him.
My personal opinion, having fought Info, so long as they're trying to make Marta work, it could be a fair fight.
Yeah. And I think Info not doing so well with Marta, by her own admission, has led to a lot of disrespect to her name. I do think Marta is a viable character, but you gotta use her properly. If you're using her like Marie, which Info is more used to, then it's not gonna go well. But if you play to her strengths, then she can be a menace.
Indeed. I mean, I've yet to experience a Marta player give me any trouble, and as you all saw earlier, I mean, respectfully, Subutai, I must disagree with you in my limited experience, as Subutai earlier, not Subutai, Plebeian earlier was beating the brakes off me, turning my legs into a stick and my head into a mop, and he wiped the floor with me. And quite frankly, the only time I had any luck against him at all was when he played Marta. So, she isn't a very high standing, in my view.
Alright, Togoshi is here, Info is here. Info will be on the right, Togoshi on the left. And we're getting towards the end of the event. Actually, despite the technical issues, we're actually moving along pretty efficiently, so that's good.
Well, you're happy to see it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you see, Marta's not about the lunging footwork, it's more about sidestepping. If you watch my fights against Connor, that's how I beat Oaks Connor, of all things.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, with Marta.
I do
so
yield
I think she deserves more
to your
respect.
experience.
Yeah.
If you believe it, I shall certainly tacitly agree, despite my better judgment, because your experience dwarfs mine, so I'll simply roll with your expertise, I suppose.
Info having problem with her controller. Isn't she on keyboard?
Doesn't Info play from a phone sometimes?
Sometimes. I don't think right now, though. Let's try again. Grazmez, by the way, we can still do Steam with you. You said you wanted to use Steam. We can still try that. But for most people, we're going to default back to Parsec because apparently now that's working better.
The thing, the grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
What is causing that most peculiar effect on the headdresses in this game, such as Marie's feather in her hat? It has a ghostly effect sometimes if she dashes.
Yeah, I've noticed that, especially right now. If you can see it quite easily on this map, I think, because of the black contrast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although on other maps, I find sometimes swords have an odd ghastly effect around them on low graphic settings.
And I don't mean this to hate on Krupel, but I think part of it is that he doesn't have a lot of experience as far as like managing shadows, lights, and other stuff. It does show, and I'm sure he would admit it too, like he's sort of learning as he goes. So that might be the reason.
Power to him, he's as a solo dev, and for a first project, obviously for a game of such quality, you know, it's certainly quite impressive for all the flack we give him.
Yeah, and for the most part, the graphics do look fine. Like, there's nothing particularly wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
There's just small glitches here and there, and stuff like that.
Yes. certain people in YouTube Shorts, which is foolish, probably the bottom 10% of human intellect, as I'm sure, have actually confused the game's graphics for real life and said, "Oh, I thought this was a real duel." Perhaps because they're morons, but you get what I mean. The game that does have quite good graphics. And I think they're quite charming as well. There's something almost PlayStation 2, or maybe PlayStation 3 about the character models that I quite like.
Yeah.
Their simplistic design, where they're scans of real people.
Yeah, exactly. Togoshi's doing really well here. I think Marie is just an advantageous matchup here. Regardless of what I say about Marta being good, I will say Marie probably has the advantage here. That lunging footwork is really hard to deal with, especially because Marie can get out as soon as something goes wrong, and then Marta will struggle to catch up.
Oh, and could this be a first? It is. Marta gets a foothold in the match, and Miss Info will no doubt be pleased with that. Getting a sneaky click there. One of the most famous, or maybe infamous, of all the celebration animations in this game.
Yeah. I wonder if Info's playing a bit too linearly right now. That might be part of the problem.
Lack of sidesteps, perhaps.
Yeah.
One of the things I noticed with Marie playing her in arcade mode is that her lateral speed, the up and down speed for sidestepping, is much slower than her back and forth speed. Yeah. Surprisingly.
Yeah, when she sidesteps, it's more about like sort of quickly getting a little bit offline to get a sidestep in, but otherwise she doesn't want to spam it because she will be caught. Otherwise, if she doesn't essentially change her tactic and move back or something like that.
Indeed. Marie is tiny compared to the other characters. I never really noticed it, but even Marta, who is tall for a woman, I suppose, especially with the way she holds herself, Marie looks dwarfed by comparison, almost child-sized.
Yeah, people used to joke that she looks like a child because her facial model also is the most simplistic in the game, so that doesn't help her case. The other characters are more fleshed out. Marie's is very legacy. You can't actually see it very well in this map because of the strange shadow that hat creates. Sometimes it covers her face, but if you look closely, her face
creating quite a cool effect. Yes. Though, getting a comment here from Discord from Siantlark, another famous Marie player, she informs me that the reason that there is ghosting on Marie's hat sometimes is due to the anti-aliasing that the game uses. One of its options, called FSR, apparently in all games in which it is used, has remarkable effects on more glossy textures, such as Marie's hat.
I see.
So it's not Kobold's fault. We're victimizing him for no reason.
Okay, I see. He has released
interesting use of
sidesteps in the past, though, like the spotlight on the church map. I don't know if that was removed. He might have actually gone in and changed that with one of his
I think he did remove it. He did
Yeah.
remove it. I do
Nice.
play on the church map. Yes, I agree. Some of the map additions are peculiar as well. I remember when it was first added, the anvil map, or the water wheel with the inside the water wheel map with the anvil that is automated. Yeah. That's off-putting to play on, to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially when it was first released, because there were several pillars throughout the map, and they would completely block the camera.
Yeah. And then you're hearing this constant clang sound, and people were saying that the hammer in real life sounds really loud, so it should be really loud, but I was like, do you want your eardrums to be destroyed in the shooter? Because that's realistic. You don't want that.
Yeah, exactly. There has to be a compromise between realism and fun.
Yeah, and play any fighting game, like when there's a roaring like crowd or something, like watching the fight, that's not all you hear. You still hear the fighters principally, right? It's more background noise.
Yes.
In real life, that wouldn't be the case. The crowd would probably be ridiculously loud, but you don't want that in the game.
You get that in boxing. I have no idea how boxers maintain their focus in the big matches where there's constant crowd cheering. I would be terrified, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, in hockey games especially, they can get really loud. And I'm sure soccer games
as a Canadian.
Yeah.
You must know that as a Canadian. Well,
Yeah.
English football, currently the finale between Aston Villa and... Arsenal and Paris is going on. And that crowd there has their own war drums that they're beating like they're marching to war.
Wow. That is pretty badass.
Yeah. I mean, the English, the hooliganism of the English football fan was so prolific in the 80s that it led to the inspiration of orcs from Warhammer. So, you talk about loud crowds, no one does it better than the British.
Yeah. We don't have that as much, but I guess in a concentrated arena in hockey, the sound can sort of act a lot differently when you're in a concentrated space. Plus, they often blast music too when stuff happens.
Oh, I
see. That helps as well with the
unthinkable.
With the intensity and whatnot. So
you get no shortage of fouls in hockey, where players whack each other as if it were the puck.
Yeah, that's pretty common, and it's just like in soccer. Sometimes or football, as you call it, the refs sometimes they don't call stuff. Whether they're corrupt or not, like they just don't see it or whatever happens, they often do not call fouls that happen. And it is a rougher game too in their defense, so it's probably sometimes tough to tell. But there is a conspiracy just want to watch the world burn. Often paid off. Yeah.
I see. I've not heard about corruption in hockey. I know corruption in boxing, bringing that up again, is really bad. I mean, corruption is the normal state there, let alone good intent. But I've not heard about that in hockey. I'm not too familiar, I must say.
But at least in hockey, like, you don't get the people flopping on the ground as soon as they get tapped a little bit, like in football sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That itself in
That's
hockey
what I was going to bring
penalty.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get theatrical, is what I call it. Theatrical injuries, where they, you lightly tap them and it's like they've been in the wars. And then the second after the ref gives them a penalty, they're immediately back on their feet. Come on.
Yeah. Whereas in hockey,
ridiculous,
they really fight each other sometimes. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they should put hockey players in and football players in a boxing match. See how that goes. Have that for an event fight. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah. Well, hockey players are pretty good at grappling too, because when you're on skates and you're trying to fight each other, like that's how you maintain contact. You grab each other and start punching each other in the face. So.
I see. Yeah. Do you ever see the hockey sticks themselves used as bludgeons?
The sticks, you mean?
Yeah, the sticks. Are they used as weapons, or is it mainly fists?
It's been done, but that would be like an instant, like serious penalty. If not, like you'd be removed from the game.
Like disqualification.
Yeah.
But for the brief moment you do it, it would feel incredible. As someone who has anger issues, you regret it later, but in the moment, there's nothing else like being angry and hitting someone. In
the Soviet Union versus Team Canada games, there used to be a lot of spearing, is what it's called. You literally thrust the hockey stick like it's a spear. And that can really hurt somebody, but there was lots of that going on. And they had to make rules against that later on to reduce the frequency of that. There was a lot of bad blood between us and the Soviets.
Well, there's a lot of bad blood between a lot of people in the Western Soviets.
Yeah.
I've never heard about that, though. That's fascinating. That reminds me of, if you've ever seen Rocky IV, Ivan Drago, the stereotype of the gigantic machismo Russian... the stereotype where, like, Zangief from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That was a very unfortunate trade for Misinfo there, who, in my opinion, had that Marie dead to rights there. By the way, we've not talked about the duel at all, and we're typically quite notable for talking about the duel.
Yeah.
No, I do enjoy this conversation, I must say.
Yeah.
Because currently, I don't wish to be discouraging, but it's been quite a one-sided duel, in my opinion, as once again, your theory of Marta is being put to the test.
Yeah. Yeah. And even though Info is probably playing a suboptimal character for this matchup, I still think it speaks to Togoshi's skill to be getting this far. If you don't know what you're doing with Marie, Marta will still destroy you if she knows what she's doing, so...
Not to speak ill of either player, of course.
Yeah.
I must say, Marta must have a respectable amount of health, because sometimes I even get glancing blows on Zera, and she doesn't die.
Yeah, she is pretty tanky. That can help her. I think less so in this matchup, but in some others against like heavy hitters, it can help.
Marie's cuts do almost no damage regardless of health, but her stabs typically skewer you and impale you in a single blow.
Yeah, you need to hit the head with the rapiers in general to kill. Any other target that's hit will not result in a kill. Which is pretty realistic to the rapiers they're using, but it can be a little frustrating if you're landing hits and like nothing's, happening.
You're just unlocking them.
Yeah.
I mean, often you can have Marie use her leg sweep 3 times in a row and she doesn't even kill them. And I've had that happen before and I was very frustrated with it.
Yeah.
In case in point there.
Getting exhausted.
Cut to the chest.
Hitting each other. Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Oh, that cut didn't even
barely.
kill. There we go.
My word.
Use the point.
It was a cut that went to the exact same location and it wasn't even enough to kill her. In the torso.
Yeah.
It's impotent.
Nice stab to the body.
I think I've seen a popsicle lolly do more damage than her sword sometimes.
I believe.
Is a rapier a sword?
A rapier, yeah.
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 Sword is a broad definition.
Rapier is a broad definition too. A lot of countries that had the rapier would have just called like the rapier a sword, and that's it. Like the differentiation between a regular sword and a rapier didn't necessarily exist.
One's fancy and one's tough, and I'll let you figure out which is which. That's the dictionary definition.
They just didn't classify stuff the way we do now, is the thing. I mean, obviously they could look at a sword and go, yeah, this thing's for stabbing, but they didn't name it a specific type of sword, necessarily, the way we do.
Why? Well, interesting that you say that, because this duel currently has been all tied up. Misinfo, desperate to get a mark against her opponent, who's without it, it's all over. And there you go, it's all over.
Yeah.
Almost making a comeback there, but not quite able to. The adrenaline dulls the hearing. According to Clamono, a reputable fighter, if ever there was one. Well played to Togoshi, who wins that match, and well played to Misinfo, who put up a good fight there in the end. But anyway, Clamono has informed me that adrenaline apparently dulls the hearing in a boxing match, which makes it bearable.
Yeah.
Which I can believe, although I must say to myself...
Yeah, I've had adrenaline rushes before, so I would agree, for sure, that it, especially when you're spiked on it, like it definitely, like your hearing becomes really funny.
Indeed.
Like when I saw that, I think I've told this story before, where I saw that cougar. Like that's a moment where my adrenaline was just going nuts.
A story about a cougar? Is this an elderly woman that was trying to seduce you?
No, a mountain lion.
A mountain lion? I mean, I'm not one to pry into your sexual proclivities, but I don't judge. Unless, of course, you were trying to have sex with the mountain lion. That'd definitely spike your adrenaline.
Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, what happened was, I was a teenager at the time, and I decided to stray off the trail, walk into some bushes, and explore the wilderness a little bit. Which, if you are familiar with the outdoors, you know that's a pretty bad idea, actually. You're supposed to stay close to the trail for the most part.
In Canada, at least.
Yeah, because...
you can do that in the UK, because we killed all our predators centuries ago.
Yeah, but in this neck of the woods, that's a no-no, because you're more likely to run into animals, which are staying away from the trails in the first place, because they smell people, and they're like, well, we should probably steer clear. So, generally, the trails are pretty safe. But...
I see.
Yeah, so I strayed off the trail, and it was sort of morning, midday, like that type of time, probably 11 a.m. or so. So that's a time when cougars are sleeping. They're not around, prowling and hunting for the most part. I hear this clicking in the trees.
Oh, are they nocturnal animals?
Yeah, they're mostly nocturnal. Like, they're active a little bit in the sort of evening hours and a bit in the morning, but then they go to sleep for a very long time. They're like other cats.
Oh, I see. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware.
So, anyway, I hear clicking in the trees. I'm thinking it's a beaver, right? Because usually when you hear stuff like that, that's what it is. But what I didn't know is that there were kits playing in their nest, making a bunch of noise. And that's what I was hearing. It was not a beaver. So I eventually noticed this. Thankfully, I was paying attention and I was not on my phone or anything stupid like that. And I see
Hmm.
them playing around, and I saw the mother as well. The cougar was looking right at me, ready to pounce me right there. And I had no idea she was
See,
even there
wow.
at first. Yeah. And so she's giving me this really angry expression. Like if I took another step, I would have been pounced right there. That's how close I was. Then they can pounce pretty far. And so
Absolutely. They're
thankfully,
menaces.
yeah, thankfully I was able to backpedal away. She didn't want anything to do with me. She was probably just as tense as I was, and she didn't follow me.
Yeah.
So that was the end of it. I
Well,
knew
that's
better
the
than to run away.
typical.
So
The typical saying is they're more scared of you than you are of them. But the
yeah,
thing is, unless it's monkeys, you should always keep eye contact with them because that makes them more scared. But
yeah,
unless it's a chimpanzee, you do that to a chimpanzee, that'll set them off and they'll have you.
yeah. And the thing with cougars is they want to fight from stealth. Possibly you're on the right, by the way. Sorry. We were in the middle
Yes.
of a story there. Are you able to
Oh yeah,
select?
fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah, so they want to fight from stealth. So when you look them in the eyes, you let them know, like, you know you're there. They're much less likely to attack.
Yeah.
Because that's not
And
what
I'll have
prey
you.
does. Like, prey will turn their back
No.
on them and run away. They won't make eye
Yes.
contact.
Well, that's the thing with prey. They have eyes on the side of their heads. Predators have eyes looking forward. If you look at humans and all predator animals, they always
Yeah,
have eyes looking forward.
yeah.
The best example of prey eyes is like a fly who is 360 degrees from his vision because he needs to look out for predators, but not me. I'll fight anyone.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But yeah, thankfully that didn't end in an incident. But if I had taken a step forward, she would have defended her cubs and I would not be here, most likely. Because there's no way, even as I am now, there's no way unarmed I'm taking on a cougar. That's just death.
It could, it could scratch you and then you could flee, perhaps. Like it would definitely
Mm,
win the bout, but you might not die. It depends on how
yeah,
rough it
it's
is.
it's definitely possible to survive, but it wouldn't be likely, I would say. It's definitely got the
Yeah.
advantage. Especially if it's defending cubs. Like that's I'm gonna die
Yeah.
defending these cubs type of thing. So,
Ah, right. Yeah. It's got the motherly love bonus.
yeah. What's going on with Apostle? You need a keyboard or something? Controller not working. It could also be Steam causing the problem. I'll do a reset of the gamepads and see if that fixes it, and I'll also let you back in.
I shall have a peek on YouTube and see what they're saying about this tournament.
And I'll also do this. But yeah, you're right. Like people have survived mountain lion attacks even alone. If you, the key is
Hmm.
really to fight as hard as you can and convince it they are not worth it. If it hasn't bitten your throat first from behind, which is what they try to do.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. The neck is the most vulnerable location on the human body.
Yeah,
A truly optimized life form would have the neck in the shoulders, but then you couldn't turn around as much, so you'd be a bit more clumsy, but you'd be a lot tougher.
yeah. And they target the neck because that's their principal prey, deer. They're also very vulnerable there, so.
Hmm. You know what doesn't have a neck? Crab. The
Hmm.
toughest things around. The second a crab learns to not walk from left to right and can go forwards and backwards, that's when they're going places in the world.
Yeah.
You're a teacher, right? I mean, you could use if a crab could walk
Yes, I
forwards, you
am.
could lose your job to a crab.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, octopi are really smart as well. People don't talk about it a lot, but
Yes, you
they
do
make
hear that.
armor out of shells. They've done lots of tests
Really?
and they've shown a lot of intelligence. Yeah. They don't have appendages that are exactly great for building civilization, but they are bloody
They're
intelligent.
intelligent.
Yeah.
You hear that from dolphins as well. They're apparently very intelligent, and they can play with their prey and play with one another. And if you're intelligent enough to understand the concept of fun, then that means that you're a very intelligent animal indeed.
Yeah. Castar said crabs are the ultimate life form, but before that,
things keep
he
evolving into them.
misspelled it and he said craps are the ultimate life form.
Yes.
Which was funny.
I saw that as well, which is ironic. I mean, all animals do shit in one form or another, so he's not entirely wrong. It's the end goal of everything. Entropy.
Yeah. Alright, Castar, I'll let you back in. I just restarted the game.
I'm going over YouTube comments at the moment and responding to an earlier comment about how Okanelix, the previous UFC champion and Conor main, was judging other people's Conor play. He says, I think people relied on pushing in Conor Mirror a bit too much and underused the neutral cuts. But everyone who's played him was really good. He's not really a complex character. I agree. I learned Conor in all of 5 seconds because all you need to do is understand the side steps that go in 2 directions, know a leg cut, know a neutral combo, and that's it. The shield will do the rest.
Yeah.
Also the stats, but that's all you need.
Yeah, his back X is really good too. I found that really helpful.
Yeah, especially against other shield characters. And already the duel is off to a fascinating shot here with 2 low tiers. You very rarely see a matchup like this.
Yeah. I think I was fighting a beer in the corner. Stand back X. And the beer didn't know what to do, and he got tilted about it. And I don't blame him.
I got tilted fighting Conor as well.
Yeah.
It is. Fighting Conor at all, even if you are Conor, is very frustrating. I slammed my desk when I lost 7-6 against the Conor. Graz. He played very well, but you can go back in the tourney and you can see me crash out, as the common vernacular is.
Yeah.
Saying, oh, fuck this tourney, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have done that. That was foolish of me.
It happens, though. At least you didn't complain for an hour or anything like that.
Yeah, I think.
So.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I said immediately afterwards that I've come to my attention that I still have severe anger issues. As I mentioned earlier, there's nothing more satisfying than getting angry and punching someone. I will say, have you ever played the game Team Fortress
2? Say again? What game?
Have you ever played the game Team Fortress 2?
No, I haven't actually.
Well, hitting someone in the face if you don't like them is equivalent to getting a random crit in that game. A random melee critical hit. It's the same feeling of bitterness and spite poured into an attack. A bad analogy if you've never played that game, but anyway, don't do violence, kids. Don't do something in a moment of anger, as satisfying as it can be.
Hassan doing well, but it is Saba, so I don't know how impressive that actually is, to be honest. But
it's a low bar to clear, but he clears it well, I reckon.
Yeah, nice hit.
I saw Miss Info, who sadly lost their last duel, but recently posted a tier list based entirely off of data, ranked Hassan as the king of F tier, of the weakest of the characters, due to his win rate of around 33%. Apparently he's better than both Sava and Yendrik, win rate wise.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He's the king of the crap, so to speak.
Maybe Hassan attracts more players who are actually good compared to Sava, but I'm not sure. And it's funny I say that because Castar is playing Sava and his Sava is pretty good, but I think generally...
His Sava gave you a run for your money. Yeah, he nearly beat you in the Olympics tourney. I was very surprised by that, because I fought Sava before. Not Sava, I fought Castar before and on Zero. But they are certainly a rising prospect, I will say that much. They're a very good player.
Yeah, and actually Castar is making a comeback similar to what he did against me, so maybe he'll Nope.
Not quite though. Enough to string our emotions along, but Hassan was able to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. Very well done there.
Yeah, Castar has an amazing Marta though. I hope we do get to see that. That Marta destroyed my Marta. So no pressure though, Castor. If you feel happier with Sava, obviously use Sava.
Kalamono has a deep despise of Hassan as a character, which I must say is peculiar, as he couldn't hurt a fly. You know, Hassan could not win a fight in an empty room, is my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we're gonna ditch Steam if we can, because Castor is also not enjoying that, which is fine. That's usually how Steam goes.
Popcorn. I don't know who this is in the server, as I'm unfamiliar with anyone called Popcorn, but apparently they disliked our tangent of being against AI, but they blame the AI and not us for being so hateable.
I mean, that's fair. The AI, well, not the AI, the companies behind the AI created the problem, so that's fair.
Absolutely. Indeed. Siantlar currently begging for a Hassan mirror, which... Who's favoured in the Hassan matchup? Nobody, I think, because he's that weak.
Yeah, I think they're both very likely to just kill each other.
Indeed. He's not quite the king of doubles though, is he, Hassan, despite his high health and decent damage?
I wouldn't say so, no. Probably Denise would be, if anybody is.
I would
he just wins
counter...
too, but...
You do. I would counter that proposition with Calc. He has somewhat fragile health, but very high damage. And his poor auto guard makes it that many attacks get through.
Yeah. Tarnovsky as well. Could be. How long is one ethically allowed to complain after a loss before it becomes dreadful belly aching? I think that just depends. You gotta read the room sometimes. But what I will say is being angry is normal. That's a human emotion. Like, I know I put a rule about sportsmanship. It's not so much that you aren't allowed to be angry. It's just, you know, be reasonable.
Yes.
Take your anger out of the game, not the player. You know, that type
not
of
other
stuff.
people, yes. Like, for instance, in the plebeian matchup, I was angry in the second round, as perhaps you saw there. I got absolutely battered and effectively through the match, but I was still very respectful to my opponent. You should never take it out on somebody else.
Yeah.
Which is the core lesson I should give.
Yeah.
And Pleb, if I was mean to him, I don't know. He's from Louisiana. He sounds pretty tough. I think in a fight he'd probably beat me in real life too. So I don't want to be too mean to him.
Yeah, he is actually into hand-to-hand martial arts and HEMA, so it's quite possible.
Oh, I see. Oh, Jesus. I mean, I was a green belt in Thai boxing in my youth, but you know, other than the fundamentals of keep your hands where your face is and try and kick it in the head, I don't think I have too much of an advantage over the layman when it comes to hand-to-hand combat.
Oh yeah, Tarna is really tough to select. You gotta be quick on the draw.
That is a very funny bug. I wish more bugs were like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, he's readying himself. Can he get it done? Castor, I think, is trying to select the old tab.
No, he wants to get it done. He was thinking about it, I think.
He was thinking about it. They are quite close to each other. Castor versus Apostle again. Changing characters, strangely enough, as last time it was Castor playing Hassan, was it not? Or am I getting confused?
No, Castor is playing Sava.
Oh, I see. No, I'm getting
confused. Characters actually make a lot of sense here, I would say.
My word. Remarkable endurance there from Hassan, who seems to just not want... Oh my word.
What was that?
He gave up the ghost. He had like his mantle. He had a cape, an ancient Turkish mantle that was imbued with the power of Allah, apparently, and that's what was keeping him alive.
Whoa! What is happening?
What on earth? What the?
I don't even know.
My word! I've never seen such. Apparently, both fences are relying on magical artifacts.
This is one of those moments where I'd love to play it back frame by frame, because sometimes you see really goofy stuff that is happening so fast that you can't even see it.
I mean, I was lost for words. I've never seen such a thing. It's like, they both had magical cakes on there for a moment.
Yeah. Nice hit.
Good snipe there from Longard.
If Apostle wins this will be a pretty impressive victory, I would say. This Martha that Casper has is mean. And it's not a good matchup for Hassan either.
Well, perhaps this can be a test of your theory then, that she isn't just someone to be bullied, this Marta.
Mm-hmm.
And currently it seems fairly even, the flags aren't flying fast.
Yeah. Sidesteps there by Casper. Oh, he missed.
And it appears, once again, the magical clothing coming to his help, as that very clearly went through his shoulder, on my screen at least, but he merely shrugged it off. Perhaps his sword arm was a prosthetic one.
Nice hit to the head. Apostle just closing that rapier down, which is what you should do.
If Russ Mitchell could see this, he'd smile, I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll show him this match, actually. He'd love it.
Oh yeah, with the magical capes. He'd love that.
Cut it. Yeah, yeah.
You'll have to show him the magical capes and ask him, oh, do you ever do this in Duel? Does that help you?
Yeah. I know there's throwing the cape on the opponent's face and stuff like that, or using it to parry a sword, but not like that. Of course.
Not sentient clothes. I mean, if you did have sentient clothes, that'd probably be an advantage in a duel. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the Doctor Strange cape.
Whoa!
Oh, and we see it again! My word!
Yeah. That wasn't much.
That cape wrapped around the goddamn...
It
wrapped around the curvature of the earth.
Yeah.
Oh my word. We need to see more of this matchup then. We need to see more Hassan versus Martin, because this is a feast for the eyes.
Whoa!
What the? Whoa! Whoa! He's unlocked teleportation! He's ascending! He has ancient Turkish magic. We shouldn't underestimate him.
He just... Yeah, he flash-stepped behind Martha.
Nothing personnel, kids. And then he put them into slavery. Oh my god. Someone write this into a fanfiction now, or put this in the lore. When we see Hassan in the lore, he should teleport behind someone. Tell you what, that'd make him a better character. That'd put him in the high tier. Don't change anything about his character, give him teleportation. And just like that, he wins the bout.
Somebody
Apparently.
save that clip. If you can.
Yeah, somebody get that downloaded.
Yeah.
Oh my word. That was incredible.
Later if needed, but yeah.
I mean, I'll have to remember. I'm giving this stream a like because that was incredible.
Well, the best part is I didn't even expect it. Like, so it just caught me completely off guard, and I just broke out laughing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I was taken aghast by it as well. The thing is, the bugs kept on escalating every single time. They got more and more interesting. Now, if Cobalt had more bugs and glitches like that, I don't think I'd mind.
Yeah. I don't think it's actually graphics Togoshi, but I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. I think the character model actually moved. So.
A complete change in matchup as well, where Casper is playing the recently buffed Samuel versus Postle's Gideon. How new of a player is Apostle? I've never seen him before, I don't think.
Apostle's played for some time now. He kind of pops in and out here and there, but I would say he's an experienced veteran, so...
I see.
It's a choice with his Hassan play. He might be the best Hassan player on the server, actually. I didn't mention that, but he does play Hassan pretty often.
You know, we mentioned teleportation magic. I think if he had lightning powers as well, that would be more in fitting with Hassan's character.
Yeah.
Particularly against dogs. CE.
Yeah, sadly I don't think we're going to be seeing more of those bugs. People love them, but...
Yeah, as do I. Kobold, put that in the game more often.
Yeah. Just an anime game mode.
The thing... Yeah. Well, the thing is, it only triggered whenever he was hurt, so it was like a fight or flight response.
Yeah. So I think it was the physics exploding is what happened, and the game didn't know how to cope with it, so that happened.
No. Well, it gave us that. That was a treat. In fact, it was so special that we've been talking about it for the majority of this duel. Apostle here making something of a rounding out the set here.
Yeah.
With Gideon, surprising.
Yeah, Gideon is not used very often anymore, which is a little bit sad. But I'm glad to see bringing him out.
Absolutely. Who would you say the best Gideon in this server is?
I'd say Eve right now. He doesn't play terribly often anymore, but when he was active, he was the best Gideon on the server, I would say.
You know, despite the differences in styles, there's something of a similarity between Hassan and Gideon's playstyle, as they both have that buzzsaw combo up close that can be properly devastating.
Yeah, and they tuck their hands away because their hands are so vulnerable. That's why they stand like that. It might expose them a little bit, but the idea is if you hold your sword out, your hand is just a target. So you might as well tuck it back. So then you can launch cuts of your own when the opponent gets in distance. And you can use your cuts as a mode of defense as well.
Yes. And it's something of an invitation, isn't it, if the opponent sees something behind them. I know I've fallen for that a few times with Laszlo and that sort of thing, where I'll go for those lunges from another planet, hoping they get through their guard that isn't there.
Yeah, exactly. That was a good try. Barely whipped it.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, Apostle is but one flag away from winning this game, is he not?
He is, yeah. And he's going on the attack. He definitely knows that he's about to win.
Very aggressive. Well, that's the thing on the final flags, you see, it's the psychology of players changes. They often get more defensive, but in Apostle's case, he's more than happy to just keep up the pressure.
Yeah, well, he knows even if he loses this, he's got 2 other rounds to win it. So,
he's only got 1 other round to win it.
Yeah, although I'm sure he would like to just close it out here.
Yeah, that's typically what I do when I get to this sort of thing. Admittedly, in my own psychology, it's something of a weakness towards the end of the duel. I often struggle to close it out, and there we see Castar likely relieved as they make a much-needed comeback, making the set 1-2, or 2-1 rather.
Okay, let's switch sides. Still 2 more rounds to go maximum. That's assuming Castar is able to win another one. Okay, Apostle left, Castar right. Hopefully, Castar is having input issues. As was Apostle earlier. Not like during the fight, but like when trying to select.
See. Very unfortunate, but if you had to have input issues anywhere, in the selection screen is definitely where you'd want them.
For sure, yeah. Hassan again, that is brave.
Hassan versus a buffed Sam, and he's making it work. If he closes out the set against the recent buff Sam, that would certainly be an indicator of the talent that we're dealing with here. I've not seen Apostle, but in such a short time, he's certainly impressed me.
Nice.
But Castor himself as well, he's making good use of Sam's recent buffs. It was mostly his speed that was buffed. Ooh, getting through the guard there. His retreating cuts are very lightning quick now. So you fence yourself, don't you, personally? So
yeah, I have experience here and there, yeah.
Nasty leg spike there. How would you personally rank the philosophy of tuck the sword behind your head because your hands are a target?
I think it all depends on the weapon that you have. If you have a saber more like Samuel's that has hand protection, then holding it out like he does is probably better. But if your sword is forward weighted, you don't have much for hand protection, I think tucking it away makes more sense. So it's all about what's your personal philosophy and what's your weapon that you're using. You should adapt the style based on the weapon.
Fascinating. Well, I must say, from an aesthetic standpoint, the sword over the head certainly wins it for me because it looks very aggressive. Sort of. Have you seen the Halloween films with Michael Myers holding the knife above his head? It's sort of like a sword of Damocles that you can threaten the opponent with.
There's actually Hema dagger stances that look just like that too, and I think it's because it's just a natural position to assume if you want to stab somebody, right? Just as with the sword,
with more power,
natural to raise it up to cut. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the other thing. It's just an intuitive position to come back to. Oh, nice. Castar still.
Then we see yet another comeback from Castar, completely evening the match. Appears the sun was not enough to get it done, even in the hands of a capable player. I'm very thankful for the variety that we see in this game, because despite the fact that many characters are weaker than the average, you see them played a fair amount. It's not all just Dionysus mirrors. Ooh. Missed attempt at a high guard shot there, being punished. He might be faster, but he's not invincible, for certain.
Yeah, Sam can be a problem for Barabash, but I think this is winnable for either.
Well, being that he's recently buffed on a tier list, where would you put him now? Because Sam was considered, in my view, fairly mediocre before, if I'm not incorrect.
I think he's always been pretty strong. I would put him like on the A tier, if not mid A tier.
I see.
Like he and Bara are pretty equivalent. I don't actually consider Bara to be S tier, primarily because Isabella, Denise, and I think those three are markedly better than him. But Bara would still be high A tier. Like he's still really strong. There's no doubt about it. It's just the competition in S tier generally beats him.
They're all a cut above, so to speak.
Yeah.
Especially in Isabella's case, she loves to do cuts from above.
Yeah. The high guard and the snap cuts and stuff like
that. What's interesting about Sam is I think he has one of, if not the best altar guard in the game, perhaps behind Dionysus, because he has everything. But he can endure a lot of punishment that other characters would not.
Yeah. He definitely pays for it in other stats. His HP isn't as high, and his damage, it's okay. It's definitely not bad, but it's not amazing. Like Denise.
And his speed used to suffer as well.
Yeah.
But his speed was recently brought to kill.
Yeah. I think he's definitely in a good spot right now. I don't know if he's overpowered. He's still got competition that I would say would beat him in a straight up fight.
Case in point there. A thrust to the chest was not enough to kill, and that's all Barra needed.
Yeah.
The Cossack hairstyle is a very interesting one. In real life it looks quite cool, but in this game I don't think Barra really pulls it off.
Yeah, Sava definitely pulls it off a little bit better, and I even say that as a Barabash main. Barabash could still work a little bit.
Yeah. Visit the barber, man, you Barabash. Get a haircut.
Nice push.
You damn hippie. The Cossacks were almost exclusively from Ukraine, right? To my understanding of history.
Yeah, like Ukraine, parts of Russia as well.
Yes. It was the Kievan Rus at that time, wasn't it? That the Cossacks came from?
No, they came from the Cossack Hetimate, is what it's called.
Oh, I see.
So that's part of what used to be the Kievan Rus, but by this point Kievan Rus is non-existent. It doesn't exist as a state anymore.
I see. Yes, because in medieval times they played the Kievan Rus, but I imagine they disappeared by the Renaissance.
Yeah, and that's for multiple reasons.
They got
the
ransacked.
Mongols defeated them.
Yeah, Mongols.
And so you get
the Mongols set them back centuries.
Yeah, And then Muscovy takes over in what we now know as Russia, Moscow. That's why Moscow is the capital of Russia today. And the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is took a bunch of territory in the east. So there's also that.
What was their kingdom called again? The Cossack what now?
The Cossack Hetman. So it's a hetman essentially led the Cossacks. It wasn't really a kingdom. Sort of an independent state where a bunch of people who sought freedom from a lot of the kingdoms went to. So it's a bit closer to a republic actually in how it was run. And there was at least a version of democracy. I won't say it was democratic the way you think of it, but it was a lot freer as a society than, say, Poland.
I see. And Castar once again making a comeback. Wait, is that all the wins they needed? They went from 2-0 to 3-all? Well, very well
Castar
played.
Did it. Well done.
Exceptionally well done from Castar, coming up from behind to take the victory. Yes, all the while we were talking about the Hetman. Never heard that word before, but I'll be certain to look into it after this is done.
Yeah, it's a state that's run by a hetman, and that's like a type of noble.
I see. Well, they've always had something of a rebellious keel to them.
Yeah, well, that's why there are a lot of pirates there and bandits. It's because it was a freer society, and they were sort of trying to escape the world order. So.
Yes. Fascinating. Well, I shall certainly bear that in mind.
But that's not to say they were all criminals, of course. It's not like it's a pirate republic as such, right? But it definitely was a hive for that type of activity. There's no doubt about it.
Well, they weren't Nassau, that's for certain. That's the only pirate republic I can think of.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's a tourist trap now, but back in the day, well, they were the bane of the English Empire at sea.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to hear about the psychology of pirates during the age of exploration, because they operated more like a business than just wanton criminals. Yeah. They had a lot of branding involved, where they'd let people live, as we discussed earlier, where it's better to let people run away than to have them fight to the last, where they'd offer people the chance to surrender when they scored the skull and crossbones, and if they did, they wouldn't kill any of them.
Yeah. And
there were mutinies as well.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. If you let people live, too, it increases the chance that states might be kinder towards you as well. I emphasize might be. A lot of pirates were still hanged, but there are cases where pirates were pardoned, actually, instead of just straight up being killed. So if you're treating the people that you're essentially stealing from well, there's an increased chance that you might be granted some sort of mercy as well. But I think especially for pirates, they're more so concerned about just getting people to surrender right away. If they know they're going to be killed, they're not going to surrender right away. So pragmatically speaking, that's probably the biggest reason why they let people live. I don't think they were so much concerned about what happens if the Navy gets them. But that is another potential advantage to that as well.
Yeah, it was vicious calculus of thievery and not mercy that led them to sparing people's lives.
Yeah. Okay, Grazmez.
Anyway, I will be gone for a second. I'm just getting a drink.
All right. Grazmez, I don't think 3C is around, so unless he yells at me right away, I think we're actually going to skip to the title fight if you don't mind. We don't have any other fights to do, so... Oh, he's here? Possibly? He literally just started typing? Okay, okay. My bad. Yeah. Yeah, he literally started typing the moment I said that, so... Okay, join back. Thanks for speaking up, 3C. Join the Parsec, don't join the Steam. Yeah, that's fine.
I see. Apparently one of our players was talking with their wife and they were late because of it. Oh, that's okay. You have a wife, which is more than most gamers will ever have.
Indeed.
Yes.
Grazmez, you're on
I
keyboard,
hope it
right?
was a nice chat you were having with your wife. Yes. Cousin, you sound like Steed Bonnet in AC4. I have no idea what that is, Clamona, but I will certainly be taking it as a compliment. I've been told everything from I sound like David Attenborough to sound like I have a voice for radio. Very upper class English. Well,
so Steed Bonnet
thank
was
you.
a former, like he was a rich plantation owner. He owned slaves and stuff.
Oh.
Was in the sugar business.
Oh dear.
he wasn't a great guy in real life, it's true. But then he turned to piracy because
But he had a wonderful voice.
Because he thought his life, like with his wife and his kids, was boring. So he wanted a life of adventure. So he decided to take his wealth and devote it to piracy, get a crew of his own, get pirates of his own, and go out pirating. But it turns out he was not actually a great pirate. He had money, so
as
he
to
was
be
able
expected.
to finance a lot of that stuff, but he wasn't a terribly good fighter, and he wasn't a terribly good leader. So a lot of the pirates who actually were experienced ended up sort of ordering him around and taking advantage of him, and betraying him at some points too. Blackbeard especially betrayed him at one point.
Hey, Blackbeard was a lad though. He put candles in his beard to char it black. Yeah, you can't be messing with Blackbeard.
Yeah.
He was the best of the best. How did he die? Didn't he get caught by the British Navy?
Yes, he did. He had a chance actually to take a pardon and run too. So I was talking about pardons. There was a case where he and a bunch of other pirates were given the chance to just, as long as they sort of handed over the wealth that they had stolen, they could walk free men. But he chose not to. He decided to go back to piracy anyway, which is crazy because he came from such a privileged lifestyle. You know, he could have just retired. Yeah. Yeah, well, he was a plantation owner. So he was
Steed
really
or Blackbeard?
Steed Bonnet, not Blackbeard. Blackbeard was more.
No, Blackbeard was poor.
Yeah. He came from more humble origins.
He's something of a Robin Hood if you ignore all the people that he killed.
Yeah. Although Blackbeard also did that. Like he had the chance to take the pardon, but at some point he decided to go back to piracy anyway, and so he died in battle.
I see. At least he went out on a shield. I think I speak for all men when we all wish that in certain moments that we die in a heroic sacrifice.
Yeah. And apparently
I mean, at least I've thought about that before.
Fighter too, so he was able to back up that bravado with skill, with a blade. So.
Well, Steed Bonnet sort of reminds me, in a sense, of one of the characters we have in this game, of Couchstein. Yeah. He certainly seems like a Steed Bonnet type. As it says in his arcade mode, he's an adventurer, which isn't a job in real life.
Yeah.
I've been requested by the audience to say, "So full of adventure." Anyway, there you go.
Steed Bonnet in the game.
Yeah. I like to think that I might be a bit better than Steed Bonnet, but I'm a very fragile temperament. I have a bad temper.
Yeah.
I'm a good leader, but not around criminal types who don't take me seriously due to my temper.
Yeah.
So I think I would be very similar to Steed Bonnet in more ways than one.
Yeah.
I like to think that I wouldn't be a slave owner, but you know.
Yeah. Maybe I'll catch flack for saying this, but I'm not a fan of how Steed Bonnet is portrayed in Assassin's Creed 4, because they portray him as some innocent merchant who does nothing wrong, but in real life he really was an asshole to his family, and he was an asshole to his that he owned, and pretty much everybody around him, so... I don't think he's a... Yeah. He wasn't a particularly...
I understand why they characterise him that way, because he does sound in his story somewhat incompetent. He's no Yang Li when it comes to naval combat. Oh my goodness. 3C being impaled by Graz.
That piece of it is true. Like, he was innocent in the sense that he wasn't familiar with combat or, you know, leading a crew or any of these sorts of things.
Yes. So was he born into money? He must have been born into money, right?
Well, yeah. He inherited the plantation that he owned, so...
They always do, these types.
Yeah. Especially in history. That's the other difference. A lot of wealth back then was just inherited. Today that does happen, but there are also people who work their way to wealth as well. And
maybe in the generations above us, perhaps.
It's easy, but there are people who have done that.
It can be done. Yeah, the idea of class mobility does exist. Yeah. The idea of class mobility does exist in today's society, however. Graz is currently complaining, despite winning that bout there, that this duel is unwinnable. He's complaining about connection issues currently, calling us unplayable. But I would say fight on, as I couldn't tell. I thought you were playing very well, Graz. Keep at it, lad.
Yeah.
I fought Graz in the Olympics tourney, and he gave me a big run for my money. And he absolutely devastated me when he had his rapier out. And I don't mean that as an innuendo. I mean that in terms of character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marina's a tough matchup for Marie, so even achieving this much is pretty impressive. He's not moving.
Shield characters often are. Oh dear. Connection issues, perhaps?
I don't know.
You know, if Steve Bonnet had Russ Mitchell, I think he might have known a thing or two more about combat.
Perhaps, yeah.
If you had him, anyone would know more about combat if you have him in his corner.
Yeah.
Him in your corner, I mean. He said in one of his things in a very charming way that he wanted to challenge the world champion to a duel, but hasn't gotten the chance because he's across the world.
Yeah, yeah. That would be entertaining to watch, though.
Yeah, I am concerned, and I don't wish to speak ill of him here, but how much of a factor does age play in the athleticism of HEMA fighting?
It can play a role, I would say. But I would say skill is probably the biggest thing. But that's the thing, he's beaten both by age and skill. So I think that's what age really come in as an advantage, is when the skill gap is either met or exceeded. Then you've got somebody who's athletic, and it's gonna... I think Russ himself would admit, he's a really humble guy. He'd probably admit he would lose. But he would have fun while losing. He's a really down-to-earth guy.
Oh, absolutely. That's the sign of a good teacher, is that they're always willing to learn.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And we see 3C here taking the bout, much to the jubilation of his wife, I imagine. In my mind, 3C, his main personality trait is that he has a wife. I don't know what I've never met the guy or talked to him before, but that's what he is in my mind.
Alright, let's switch sides. Hopefully Grazmez can
stage a comeback here.
It, but yeah, that as well.
That's the thing. Marina is a very difficult matchup. Any shield character is difficult for anyone that depends on lunges.
Grazmez is from Europe, yeah. Yeah, Marina's footwork, that's something a lot of people don't talk about, but we did mention it. Russ mentioned it looks like it's similar to Soviet boxing, at least.
Soviet
I think
style.
He said the top half, of her movement.
No, the bottom half, he said. The top half looks nothing like it.
Okay,
it's because style of boxing, into boxing, it's based a lot on feints and constant movement to confound the opponent.
I see, yeah.
And here we have 3C picking the recently buffed Samuel versus Graz's magnificent Marie. He can't play many other characters, much like me, he's a one-trick pony, but the character he does play, he plays it well.
Yep.
I really like that victory animation from Samuel where he looks over the blade. It makes him look very evil and callous because he doesn't even care about the person he's just killed. He's only caring about his blade.
Yeah. Yeah,
interesting as well, in his arcade mode, if you get all the way through to the boss, apparently he is killed by what's his name? What's the main character of Hellish Quart? Yasek?
Yeah.
He's shot in the back by Yasek, and then he goes into a coma, and then he fights the metaphorical evil version of himself.
Yeah.
In his mind.
And then he gets up and lives the life of a monk after, so he does survive that encounter.
I don't think that's canon to perhaps how the game does go, but I think that might be foreshadowing.
I think it is canon, actually. Because...
Is it?
Yeah, but because everybody else in the arcade gets a chance to kill Samuel. But clearly they can't have all killed Samuel at the same time, right? So I think Yasek just shooting him in an anticlimactic way seems more real.
That does make sense.
And the Samuel.
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah. The boss Samuel as well, though, is a bigger version of Samuel, if you've noticed. So I think that also gives strength to the theory that the dream is the canon fight and not any of the others.
I see. Yes, because some of the motivations in the arcade mode is silly, like Marie's entire motivation is that he might reveal that she's a spy, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not enough to go on a killing spree. I'm sorry, you just got to relocate.
And also, wouldn't killing him, like, if you kill some noble, I feel like that would also attract a lot of attention.
Blow your cover.
Yeah, like some.
What are you doing, Marie?
Female rapierist killed a noble. That's gonna turn a lot of heads. Like, there's not that many female rapierists who are killing nobles. So.
Yeah, in the world. Especially since the character Marie's based off was one of the few medieval examples of a trans person. So that would draw even more heads.
Yeah, and historically she did, but she had connections at least. So, like, there were nobles who protected her. But...
yeah.
under normal circumstances, especially if you're a spy behind enemy lines, like, that's gonna get you killed. Absolutely. If you're blowing your cover like that.
Yeah. Very, very strange. I like Father Zera's motivation of just that he's mad and he thinks he's on a crusade, and Samuel is the devil, apparently.
Yeah. Or some of the others
a very funny motivation.
Samuel screwed them over too.
Yeah.
Like they're part of his
like
gang.
Yendrak apparently used to work for him.
Yeah.
He's working for Jakub, which when Jakub is released, when Yendrak and Jakub fight, maybe that's like a wage dispute between the two of them.
Yeah.
Yendrak wanting to be paid more. Anyway. Graz making a comeback here and taking the duel. Very well done.
1-1.
It appears the character change did not work out in 3C's favour, unfortunately for him. Much to the chagrin of his wife, perhaps. Graz still saying that he faces connection issues, but powering through it regardless, like a brave soldier he is, showing that classic Russian stoicism that they all need to have. Because if you live in Russia, well, you know, you've got to be willing to endure at least a bit of misery. Same matchup again, 3C.
Yeah, nice sidestep.
3C sticking to Samuel. Yeah. Getting a bit of a lag spike as well.
Yeah. Of course, I'm not saying that people should always fight through the lag if it's unplayable, but I do appreciate people not spending time, you know, complaining for a long time about it. They're just like, you know, if there's nobody available, I'll play through it type of thing, which I commend.
Indeed. Sure. That's just a situation you have to have. It's like flying through turbulence, is how I think of lag. It's an impairment, but it typically won't crash the ship. Or crash the plane. Unless you're Sully, of course. You ever heard of Sully? Well, that wasn't really turbulence, that was birds.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. There was a film about him starring Tom Hanks. He crashed in the Hudson River and saved many lives.
Yeah.
When and he was sued over it by the airport because they said, "Oh, you should have come back to the airport." But if he did, he would have done a 9/11 sort of attack where he would have crashed into the city. So he wisely crashed into the river instead.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Yeah.
And he got his wings back in the end. It was a happy ending.
Yeah.
Unlike 9/11, that wasn't a happy ending.
No, not at all. For all sorts of reasons that we won't get into, but yeah.
Yeah, for all parties involved, that was a bad situation.
Yeah. Rasmus doing incredible with Marie. Maybe it's gotten better, or maybe he's just, you know, trying to think ahead and he's managing to stab his opponent. Like, sort of...
Well, you've cursed him there, because the moment he said he was doing well, he died.
Yeah.
The commentator's curse. It's like the other day, you told me I was fighting Venator, it's like, well, if he's going to win any duel, it's going to be this one, and then I lost immediately afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, my curses are pretty vicious sometimes. People just die the moment I'm evoking them, pretty much.
Ooh, the triangle there, right through the ribs. Very effective at close range. A risky maneuver, but a rewarding one at that.
Is it 1-1? Currently, yes, but it's about to be 2-1, I think.
Well, we don't know how it goes, but it seems likely to be that way.
Yeah.
Well, a nice cut there, landing on the chest, but he doesn't care. I realise the blood decals blend in with wearing red. Perhaps that's why he does it, for morale reasons.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
And Graz winning there. Earning a victory for all of Mother Russia. I've talked to him, he's not a nationalistic type, so perhaps that's rude of me to say, but well done to him.
Yeah, I think you can love the country without liking the government. I think those are two different things, so that's totally
absolutely. And you should never conflate a government with its people. Yeah. Is a common thing, because I know more than a few people who say, oh, I hate X and Y group, because they really hate the government, but then they generalise that to the entire populace. And I think that's bang out of order. That does humanity a great disservice.
Yeah. Ooh, Marie versus
3C here. Changing to a different shield character. The first set he won was with a shield character, and he intends to make a comeback with another.
Yako having
Connor being
somebody said.
Yes. Purple pants?
Yeah.
Oh yes, it was because purple was the rarest colour. In fact, purple is such a rare colour in medieval history that it's only present on 3 flags in the world. Because it was the reason it was so expensive was because the only way to get the colour purple in textiles was to rub Mediterranean sea snails onto fabric and slowly rub off the purple from their shells. So it is incredibly valuable and rare.
Yeah.
There were even cases of monarchs saying where their wives requested purple clothes and they said, no, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
It was that valuable.
Ooh, nice.
But it was synthesized in the 1800s.
Yes.
Purple.
And then the rest.
Now anyone can wear purple.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's my favourite colour, purple. I like a nice royal purple.
Something.
I think the purple Marie wears is quite elegant.
Yeah. Something that's funny about colors too is people in the past seem to have been more infatuated with them. Like if you look at medieval clothing, there's a lot more bright colors and a lot more contrasting going on. Like you'll see green shirts and red pants, right? Which today we'd look at and go, that just makes you look like a Christmas elf, right? Like it looks kind of goofy. But people back then were happy to do that type of thing. But nowadays we're like wearing black, white, sort of boring colors a lot of the time.
Monotone.
Despite the fact that we have so much availability as far as the color spectrum compared to the past. But we decide not to indulge as much.
That is modern humanity in a microcosm. You raise a salient point there, where we have more technology and options than ever before, yet we seem more aggressive than ever before as well.
Yeah. Ooh, going low. I guess color is no longer really a status in and of itself. Maybe that's part of it. Like if you're wearing black,
it's more affordable.
Terribly impressive. Yeah, like jet black is readily available now. So it's like, who cares? Black was actually reasonably expensive in the Middle Ages, especially a proper jet black was pretty hard to get.
They used pitch, didn't they? Tar.
Yeah, I believe so. I wouldn't know. That does.
I read in black is pitch because in those days tar was called pitch. That's where it comes from. The saying pitch black.
Yeah.
And you could rub the metal. You could rub pitch onto metal and make it black. I don't know why you would. In war, I know in Warhammer, not at all a historical source, but certain factions use it to make themselves look more intimidating, which is a reason you could use it, I suppose.
Well, you can also blacken steel too. You can actually finish steel that way, so that it looks a lot more black.
Oh yes.
You can put lacquer on it as well, if it's armor especially. And that can protect against rusting. So that could be one reason why you your metal.
Yes. Well, they were called blacksmiths in the day. And iron was the black metal. Of course, that's where that saying comes from.
Yeah. And also black looks cool too. That could also be. Although
Absolutely.
I do believe polish was the if you could get a proper steel polish, like a mirror polish on your metal, that was like the highest end as far as status a lot of the time.
Practical for war though. If you were traveling a long way, only a lord would be able to have that. Was like a what's the word for someone that takes care of your fashion choices? Not a castellan.
It could either be a squire or a page. Yeah. In the case of
for knights, that's who took care of the armor. But I'm trying to think if you are a properly high-end lord. I'm trying to think of a word for like someone whose job it is to look after your fashion choices.
Is it just a servant in
that god. Case? No, there's a specific job title for it, and for the life of me, I can't think of it.
Yeah, because
well played.
I think in the Middle Ages was like somebody who takes care of a castle, so that was
a
noble title,
like a retainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I'm trying to think. Oh, for the life of me, concierge, is that it?
Could be, yeah. That sounds.
Maybe. No, that's not it. Oh, for the life of me, I'll think of this in the middle of the night while I'm trying to get to sleep, and I'll scream it out loud.
It's one of those words. I should know too. Yeah. Oh well.
Oh, good heavens. I know where I got it from. In a Warhammer Army campaign, there's like in Total War you can get assistants, and there's like you put them in your camp and they like help you out and give you small bonuses. That servant is like an assistant you can get, and it makes your diplomacy better because it looks after your fashion choices. So if I go back, and watch hours of gameplay footage, I could probably find it eventually. But I can't be bothered to do that, so I'll just have to think it up. Okay. Oh, good heavens.
We got the champion fight now, me against Abir.
Well, best of luck. You can leave if you wish.
No, I'll stay here. It's fine. Forewarning to Abir, though. I do not know if an EU host is available. We'll just work with what we have and go from there. You're on the right side. Take the right side of beer.
If it's bad, I'd like for Castar to host.
Yeah,
well, okay. That is certainly an option.
Yep. Take the right side of beer.
By the way, I wasn't paying attention at all. Who won the last duel? It wasn't 3C, was it? It was Graz.
Razmez, yeah, and pretty decisively.
Yeah.
Too. So props.
I thought it was Graz. I was not paying attention at the slightest.
Yeah, props.
Which is a bad thing to do as a commentator.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Props to him
through it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck here to Subutai, and we'll see. Abir is in the red and Subutai is in the white.
No, Abir, we gotta touch tips. Bobo, do you want to give the announcement?
All right. Something. This is the title bout. Play fair, play dirty, and break away. All right, and let the duels begin.
Going to the point. I like it.
I think that's what they said. For the life of me, I didn't know the script, so I had to come up with that one at the top of the dome. But people like it when I waffle.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. He's eager. Red, of course, being the colour of eagerness and the colour of his choice. He likes going red because it tricks people into thinking they're fighting Laszlo when they're not. Ooh, and Subutai. Most harmoniously for him, it's the first flag, but Abir responds in quick fashion. If that's anything to go on, we're in for a close duel here. And leg sweep! He goes through the front door and then he has a visit upstairs. Very well done. Many attempts at sidestepping. Or retreating cut, exhausting his opponent. Hangs on to dear life, but his auto guard is not enough to stand up to a volume of attacks. Light lag spike here, resulting in a double. Both players will be happy with that, I imagine. No one likes losing during the lag spike. Oh, and a nice sidestep on the lunge there, missing a beer and goal, a flag. It's not football. Oh, and a reverse in the combo we saw earlier. We see a leg sweep there, working very well for him. Match is all tied up at the moment. Oh, and another attempt at the old leg sweep combo. That worked so well so far, but Subutai gets overwhelmed. Honestly, these sets are so fast, they're all blink and you miss it moments. This is non-stop action. You won't get better sword fights than this. But I finding his mark there. Ooh, and an excellent wrist snipe there. The thing, these flags, they're flying thick and they're flying fast. Ooh, and that's the thing with a leg strike. It's very ambitious and it's very vulnerable to a high strike, hitting it back. A blow to the head will always be more lethal than a blow to the leg. As we see there. But yeah, merely one flag away from taking the first round to himself. Oh, he very nearly gets it there, but Subotai, no doubt happy with this result, is able to get a double. Getting out the set again. And another double. It appears even towards the end of the set, both players are just as aggressive as they were when they started. Ooh, but Subotai is overwhelmed by the sheer volume of attacks there. Very well played to both players, an entertaining match as they come, and it is currently 1 to a beer and 0 to Subotai. But that does not tell the whole story of what the match is. A beer currently claiming that the game is stuttering quite badly, but not every second. Considering that he won the last round, though, I imagine he's more than happy to continue.
Yeah, let's take the latter beer. If that's the case, it's up to you. Don't feel you must, push through if it is bad. An interesting character to change from Subotai here as he picks his favourite of Isabella. His main, I believe, and a good one at that. He is as strong as they come. We can see he's already rewarded for such a character change decision, as he quickly nets a flag of his own. Tempted to stab there, not finding it smart. But these low strikes are winding around Abia's guard and finding their mark quite accurately. Like shots from the high guard, but they're punished. As Isabella's greatest weakness is side steps of her own. Her wrists in the side of her face are often where she's most vulnerable. Interesting play there from Subotai, who goes into the long Fool's Guard only to snap cut his opponent. Of course, any sensible player will be very nervous when it comes to approaching Isabella in the Fool's Guard. High damage there, resulting in a double. Of course, both Subotai and not Subotai, both Barbage and Isabella have the killing power to kill him but a single blow, but Isabella most key the key advantage of range, which he's using most definitely to his advantage. Yeah, defensive posturing from both players. But an excellent use of Zverhau though, wandering around Abia's guard, and it appears that whereas last round was as close as they come, this has been a complete shutout in favour of Subotai, who ties up the set 1-1. Appears the character change is working for him very well. I wonder how Abia will respond. Alright, we're switching.
Are we switching host or switching platform to Steam? Castar himself, our brave hero in our hour of need, coming in to host the game for us. So we will naturally be having a slight pause in the pacing of the stream. But don't go anywhere. This no frills combat will be continuing shortly. But while that's happening, I shall perhaps... It was a shocking conversation because she started off rather nervous and quite muttering and murmuring to her husband, but she quickly changed tone as she began shouting at him. And as it turned out, it was rather justified because to my shock, the pregnant woman was working 2 jobs full-time, whereas the husband was penniless and unemployed at home, not even looking after the baby that hadn't been born yet, so he couldn't look after it. And naturally, this woman had a big go at him and said he was embarrassing her before everyone on the train over the phone call. But in my mind, I thought, you get him, girl. You get him. Because I'm it may not seem it based on my voice, but I'm a devout feminist. So there you go, a divorce on a train. You don't see that often, but it does happen.
Okay, I'm gonna switch games.
I'm being invited to the parsec. Hang on.
Yeah.
I forgot that I needed to connect to the parsec in order to actually see the match. Oftentimes, while I can't see the match due to connection issues, I will use my imagination to think about what's happening in the match and then make it up as I go along. But as we can see here, this duel is simply too important for me to be making it up and telling the audience porky pies. Right. A repeat of last match. Whoever wins this one will be favoured to win the set. So it's a pivotal match, if ever there was one. Subotai on the left and a beer on the right. Defensive posturing here, but resulting in a nifty win for a beer. Trading blows with Isabella is always dangerous, but in rare circumstances it can pay off. A little bit of low cut there. Once again, weaving around his guard. This is Subotai's fashion. He loves those low cuts. Oh, enough with his hand. He'll not be writing any heartfelt letters soon. Ooh. Just about able to hold with an auto guard before winding around the guard of here there. With a nasty blow to the head. Once again. Without the lag, it appears this match is once again closer than ever. I imagine the last round was the only shutout stomp we'll see in this duel. Subotai no doubt very happy with that double, as he was the first one to get hit there, but the snap cut is among the most powerful things in the game, as we saw once again. 3-3 currently. It's as even as it can be. And double city. It appears neither opponent wants to give an inch, and both of them are more than happy to trade blows. Isabella's high damage, of course, balanced out by her low health, resulting in the numerous doubles that we see. Using the high guard chop out of measure there. Always a dangerous sign. It's often overused by many Marie players, but Subotai, of course, knows what he's doing. I say as he dies there. You very rarely see mistakes from either player here. And another double. We'll see. Abir is getting a hit here, making a lead. Can Subotai make a comeback? He's currently quite wisely using the high guard as a means to pressure his opponent. But currently all he's pressuring him into is doubles. That's the thing. Ooh, blimey. An attempt to sidestep there, but Abir getting punished. And yet another double. As neither player is willing to give ground. I've never seen so many doubles. And another! That was liquid sword fighting. Ooh, nasty blowout of measure there, sadly whiffing. She's no Father's era, but Isabella's attacks will naturally have a greater window of recovery if she does not hit the opponent's blade. What a lucky strike there from Isabella. Subotai staying into the match currently. The score is 4-6. He just barely inches over his opponent there with a nasty chuck to the head. Ooh, and Abir using his famous repeater technique there to take the round. And it's currently 1-2 in favour of Abir. It's interesting, folks. I don't think I've seen a duel go as far back and forth after this. And it certainly seems on both ends the connection has improved. Subotai, is the connection improved on your end?
Yeah, it's fine.
He says it's fine. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the man, it's fine. Meaning it's as even as it can be.
Right now you're doing something else, Castor? Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And this most tumultuous of duels, yet again taking another turn, as Subotai changes characters once again, attempting to find the success he did when he first changed characters. Jan versus Barbaz is a matchup I'm not familiar with, as I don't play either character. But there were witnesses of raw speed in Jan's favour and effective tactical sidesteps in Barbage. And most interestingly as well is that when it comes to the sabres, Jan and Barbaz, between them, had the longest sabres in the game, which is a fact that not many players will realise. Nasty blow to the chest there, even with Jan's high health pool, not enough to put up with such a devastating blow to the ribs. Pair exchanging blows, Jan looking quite weary, but so is his opponent. Neither player wanting to give an inch here. They both engage in defensive posture, but Subotai takes the round there with a nasty cleaving blow to the head. He'll not be rousing from that one. Changing stabs here. Oftentimes, Jan is called many times the best rapier character in the game. The people at home may be saying, but he doesn't have a rapier. That's because it's a joke, ladies and gentlemen. He just has very good stabs. As we see there, use of the corkscrew. And another stab, the low stab, intercepting his opponent's attack and winning him the round. Subotai appears to be running away with it yet again. As he has a 3-flag lead over his opponent. And another nasty double there. It appears a beer is struggling to adapt. Oh, but as I say that, no he isn't. He responds himself, not letting the game slip through his fingers. No doubt a beer will be under tremendous pressure here, as while he is currently making a comeback, if he wins this round, he'll win the game. And he'll no doubt want to be taking that title off of his opponent's skinny waist. Another double there. Oh, and a nasty snap cut to the head from Subotai there. Screeching away with the game currently. Trading blows there, you don't want to do that with Jan. He has more than enough health to spare. Oh, and once again, the whip to the head. That's all he needs. And Subotai currently is but 1 flag of evening up this set. But Tabir isn't going to take it lying down. He's going to trade with a double. That's what I like about these two players. Oftentimes, with players of my caliber, you'll see a complete change in the psychology around the end of the match, where they both get more defensive. And not here. Even as Tabir takes countless wounds to the chest, he isn't letting up with his aggression. Subotai making good use of that stab there. We've seen him get success many times before. But a double there, no doubt in Tabir's favour. You'll be very happy to see that. Oh! My word, that was a blink and you'll miss it moment. A retreating cut to the skull. And it's just to net Tabir the flag, despite getting stabbed. And once again, that retreating cut is doing him wonders. That stab perhaps being a mite bit overused. See here, continuing. The whip to the head there and the retreating cut. Both players' signature move, seemingly, getting used to tumultuous results. Back and forth here. Could we see this round get tied up? Subotai under massive pressure here. An attempt at a sidestep there, not finding its mark. It's as close as it gets. Ooh, and a stab to the gut, but a blow to the arm. Which player will relent first? Both, apparently, as we get yet another double. This wanton aggression, as both players' signature, is the mark of high skill. Ooh, but a nasty stab to the chest there without a cut of his own to show for it. Tabir will no doubt be under pressure. Both players manoeuvring fairly defensively now. Wheeling back and forth between their opponent's cutting range. Ooh, an attempt at a stab there, a bold one by Subotai. Ooh, and he just barely inches out a double. Exhausted there as he was almost certainly going to perish. May as well make the opponent suffer as well. Another blow to the stomach. And yet another double. I think, ladies and gentlemen, this might be setting a record for the number of doubles, at least I've seen, in a match. And it just goes to show how evenly matched these two fences are. As some of the best that the Hellish Quart game and community has to offer. Oh my word! And a bit finally getting a foothold in this match, tying it up completely. One has to wonder the pressure that will put on Subotai, but yet again he goes for that gut stab. Trying to land the one that will win him the game, and he gets there! Just barely stringing the audience and this commentator along as he takes the round to even up the match 2-2. And ladies and gentlemen, buckle up your seats because you're in for a bumpy ride. Whoever wins this next match wins the tournament. It couldn't be closer. Very well played to both players there. Indeed. Tagoshi in the YouTube chat commenting, what a game. I couldn't agree with you more. Very rare, incisive comment from the YouTube chat there. It's about as rare as a unicorn, perhaps. Yet again, the fences return to their typical posture. Subotai not changing character this time. We'll see if it works out for him. Abir walks away with an early lead. We'll see if Subotai can respond. He's exhausted here. But he manages to even the score with a double. Oh! And a confluence of blows there, netting in Subotai's favour. Oh, a touch of lag there, both players being cautious. Those stabs again, getting in Jan's favour. Oh, and he's exhausted, but only for a moment. But that doesn't matter to Abir. He's taking that flag whether you like it or not. And I imagine Subotai doesn't like it, as he quickly loses another. Score currently 1-3. Final set of the match. 1-4. Seems the Beer's gotten an early lead, but we've seen comebacks before, folks. And it appears Subotai is eager to make one. Excellent wrist snipe from him. An attempt at the same there. And they're going to mark on both players. Ooh, and feint there. Being punished by an out-of-measure sidestep by a Beer. A heavy-handed stab there, resulting in a double. Here's Subotai digging deep into his bag of tricks. Try and even this match. He's not letting go with his champion belt so easily. Score currently 3-5. 4-5. Subotai seemingly has stabilised the match. That's how even it is. Less doubles this match, but that isn't saying something. Oh my word. And a sidestep. Abir's but one flag away from becoming the USFC champion. Could it be true? Never attempted a double there. Oh my goodness. And he's done it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together if you want to clap. Abir is your USFC champion of the tournament 180. That would have been cooler if I said your 180th champion, but whatever. Well played to both people. That is one of the most beautiful fights I've ever seen in this game. The folks at home loved it. I loved it. And most importantly, I hope, the fences loved it. Indeed. Castar, the host of that match, most generously, describes it as absolute cinema, and I can't help but agree.
No, I wasn't stuttering a beer.
Very well done. Yes. Exactly.
You're fighting me, Clamino. I thought you challenged me.
I see.
But
that's the thing, I want to fight Clamino, because he's apparently a good kid.
Yeah.
Giddy, I don't know how good Camino is, but I've seen him before. Maybe I could take him on after Subotai. Another go at the ball crushing factory. I can't learn if I don't lose. Anyway, but putting that aside, a post-match interview. How do you feel about that, Subotai? That was pretty intense in there.
Yeah, Beer was a little bit faster than me, I think. and I think that's all it was. I think Abir was a little bit quicker on some of the punishes, and yeah, he won it fair and square. You can see it on the stream too. There really wasn't any stuttering on my end, so that was all him.
Yes.
Nicely done.
I wonder if we can get a beer here for a post-fight interview. A beer, hop in the call, you yob. He's not here. Well,
Yeah, okay.
I can pretend to be a beer and you could interview me. I could say how I feel. Because me and a beer, if you don't know, we have talked before and he's quite fond of the banter, that one.
Yeah, so I need to hear from Clemino for fighting, otherwise I'll end the stream. Alright, we're still fighting, cool.
Okay, so after a close duel, Subutai once again has another duel, ladies and gentlemen. We have a special extra match for you here, right at the end, between Clemino and Subutai. Clemino being, in my opinion, the best Gideon player in the server, and Subutai being one of the best players in the server. Even though he just recently lost his title belt, he's still the champion of my heart.
Okay, I will take the left to start us off. It doesn't much matter since it's best of 5 anyway, but just keep things simple. No, good game still up here. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, very well played, Twinya. He's in humble defeat, or humble in victory, as we like to see. He says that his opponent had every chance of winning. Anyway, but we have one less battle here between the former champ and Clemino. We'll have to see who takes to this one. Subutai on the left and Clemino on the right. Oh, Subutai quickly taking the first flag of his own with Barbage. And Clemino making the interesting choice of going Marina, which is often not considered the best character, but her efficacy is, in my view, matchup dependent. She can be very effective. Of course, Barabaj, being he is a sidestep king of Hellish Quart, has no problem dealing with the shield. At least compared to other characters. As we can see here. Unfortunate attempt at a push there, being badly punished. No shortage of side steps, resulting in a double. Leg sweep there. Oh, and a punch. But she's exhausted. They were both exhausted, my word. I've never seen such an unfortunate punish to an otherwise solid combo. Subutai getting cut here. But once again evening out the round and a double. Taking an early lead here with a score of 4-2. But Pamono isn't letting it go. With a response like that. And a nasty triple cut there. Barbage's speed should not be underestimated. Heavy blow to the head there will fell any man. Ooh, and a nasty blow to the stomach there. And Subutai's but one flag away from winning. No doubt he doesn't want a repeat of the last match he had against the now champ. So we'll be wanting to win this one for certain. Get another double, as is his fashion. And another double. Crikey. Well, it's all tied up at the moment. 6-all. That could have been it there. Oh, but Subutai responds with a sidestep of his own and takes the match. Very well done to him. Yes, I'll be honest, and there was a bit of doubt in there for a moment, but Subutai just barely able to get it. 1-0, with Clemeno taking the left and Subutai on the right. interestingly, not a change in characters here. Clamono was confident that they could take this match with the right play. Trying to dash in there for an early kill, but they get interrupted by a slab of metal known as a sword. Nasty double there. Well, that sidestep doing Subutai wonders as a punish as he attempts to weed around the guard of his opponent. Good use of retreating cuts there. Clamono has to be careful. Not too far from exhausting themselves, and we all know what happens when that occurs. But Subutai does exhaust themselves, and Clamono takes full advantage. Ooh, they both go for a shove, but Subutai gets there first, beating his opponent to the punch, or maybe the push. His sword there weaving over his opponent's shield. You very rarely see that, but it can happen. Oh, and they both exchange cuts, but of course one of Marina's weaknesses is her lack of damage. They're currently 2 for 4. 2 to 5. And Subutai screams ahead with an early lead. Don't underestimate this man, ladies and gentlemen. He's one of the best there is. Although for Clamono to challenge him, he must be bold indeed and must certainly believe in his own abilities. I fought Subutai before and, well, quite frankly, he took my lunch money, to be quite honest with you. Clamono here, his Marina getting quite exhausted, the slow movement. Subutai pushing, but not willing to capitalise on his successes. Is he toying with his opponent? Well, whatever it is, certainly dangerous, as it results in a double. Nasty blow to the shoulder there. It has been said that if you keep your sabre out like that, it can expose your hand, and oftentimes the place I see Barbash getting hit the most is on the shoulder. Though not in that case, as he takes a blow to the dome. There you see it, ladies and gentlemen, yet another blow to the shoulder. Some bold cuts coming out here from Clamono, who's swinging for the fences, and clearly it's working. The set's all tied up, 6-all. And Clamono takes the round. The left side advantage, perhaps, tipping it in his favour. It couldn't be more equal, ladies and gentlemen. But Subutai, of course, has made greater comebacks before, so we shall have to see. Does this warrant a change in characters, or will they continue down this path? Well, both players are obstinate in their character choices. And given how close the matches are, I can't say I blame them. Subutai here getting a foothold with his first win. That's the thing, these matches, typically, if an opponent has a shield, it'll result in a slow gameplay as both players take a more cautious approach. But right here, these flags are going as fast as they can. Ooh, a leg sweep there, getting punished by an overhead blow. As I've said before, ladies and gentlemen, a leg sweep, very good against shield characters, but always risky. And a shield punch there, but Subutai recovers and responds with a blow of his own. Much more powerful than any punch could be. An attempted leg sweep, but the sidestep wins him the bout. Current score of 3-1. Looks like Clamono's eager to equalise it. Currently, Subutai will be under a bit of pressure here, even if he is ahead in the round, because if Clamono is able to win this one, it's a good night, Irene. Oh dear. A nasty blow out of measure there, getting countered by Clamono. But once again, that quick running sidestep is being his signature move here. Ooh, and a push mid-blow is all he needs. He's on the precipice of winning here. Can he make it even? Yet again, going for that most desperate of attacks. Missing that push, but making it a double. I thought for certain he would have died there. He did, but he kept his dignity, perhaps. Retreating cut, not finding its mark. Kimono is certainly desperate to close out this match, but isn't quite able to do it. And Subutai takes the round. And yet again, I wonder, will this elicit a change in strategy, or will both stick to their guns? And I reckon I know the answer. Do you, the people at home? Oh! And it does elicit a change in character. Kimono going Samuel of all people, as opposed to Marina. Perhaps getting recently buffed. He feels he has more of an advantage with him, and he most certainly does. Oh, a nasty pause there. It appears that players are perhaps finding
lag, yeah.
touch of lag there. Very rare from Subutai, as I'm assured his connection is top-notch. Top shelf, even. But the Canadian authorities disagree with him. They'd rather put him in a pod and... Anyway. Subutai there, scoring a flag over his opponent and tying up the set, even if it is just 1-1. And these sets are flying quicker than ever before, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness! Subutai's attack there, phasing through space and time, but still getting their mark after going through his opponent. A nice low blow there, weaving through his mark. They're risky, especially if the opponent does a high chuck to respond, but nothing's better for getting through the guard. Such boldness to simply approach and do a low blow like that nets him a double. But it just goes to show the confidence both players have in their abilities. We can see here the score is fairly even, 3-3. Even Stevens, despite the fact that it's an odd number. And a feint, using the magic fairy dust to weave under his opponent's guard. Very well done by Clemart. It just goes to show you never see that before the Samuel buffs. That attack was a practical joke that Samuel wasn't in on. Let's see. They're keeping it as even as they can here. It seems to be a coin flip on the direction that this match will go, and ultimately the game. Well, both players are backing off here. A touch of lag, perhaps. Well, they both flash their long guards in the sportsman-like fashion that they are used to. And it leads to Kimono taking the match. That sidestep from Barabaj is a good one, but it clearly isn't enough to get it done all the time. Ooh! Oh dear, and another sidestep there going the opposite way, finding its mark but not quite killing. Nasty feint there, almost taking the match before it was over. Subutai finds his mark on his opponent's skull. Current score is 6-5. Could change at any moment. It's 6-6, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll be staying quiet, because whoever wins this round wins the match. Double! My word. I can't help myself but to speak, so I'll fill the dead space. Oh my word. And Kimono wins the bout. Oh, it's 2-2. Never mind. I'm delusional, ladies and gentlemen. Ignore me. Ignore me. It's 2-2. The bout is even. Yeah, great fight. My opponent, my commentator friend here, reminding me why I'm the assistant and he's the guy in charge. Apparently I can't count. And a return to normal schedule here is Kimono goes back to his typical character choice of Marina. Perhaps out of pity for his opponent, or perhaps out of comfort for knowing what he's doing. I don't know why he changed back. Subutai takes the bout there for the first victory. And a leg sweep of all things from Marina. Very unexpected. And catching his opponent off guard, no doubt. Very well done. And a double there, that sidestep being his signature move, getting him into as much trouble as it does get him into as much good graces. Oh, and another attempt at the leg sweep. I've never seen such cheekiness. Ooh, just barely weaving out of that follow-up attack, but it's not enough. Clemono takes the next flag. Blow to the skull there, that was a blink and you miss it moment. Nasty blow to the wrist there, but that's not the end of the world. He's getting tired. An attempt to go for the legs, not finding its mark. Oh, but the wrist snipe just barely gets it done. Subotai not wanting to lose this. He's trying to snatch a victory from the jaws of defeat. The scores are looking shaky. It's 3-5 in Clemono's favour. And it's 3-6 in Clemono's favour. And a double there. Subotai no doubt thankful for such a thing. He's but one flag away from losing it all. Oh dear! Oh no, a snap cut there to the skull. Not quite finding its mark. And Clemono wins the bout with the most evil of laughs. Very well played by both players. I've no doubt Subotai is worn ragged after his 2 games today. And I must say both players did exceptionally well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the final bout we have on the stream. So,
well done.
No point in sticking around there. I shall see you all next week.
Yeah. Thanks everybody who competed. I'll end the stream with that. See ya.
Anyway. Is it over?